Hello, everybody. Welcome, everyone watching. Hey there, Spinel. It's been a while. Welcome to Wyrd and Wyld, our Friday night D&D 5e spelljammer / planescape Let's Play live play. I am Jaso the DM. This is session 63, Reverie for Rincaz. Although we could sidestep that, and instead we could do a sponsorship of White Castle, and I will be the White Knight, and everyone has to save the princess from the castle. What do you guys think?
What's happening right now?
Let's do it.
We're doing, first of all,
We're getting paid. Let's go. Let's do some homework first. Let's go.
I heard White Castle was under attack from the Crystal Kingdom.
I'm everyone who's just left. I'm sorry. I'm Jason, the DM. Who else is joining me this wonderful evening?
Hello, I'm Bailey. I'm going to be playing Lore, the fabulous, androgynous, beautiful Eidolon. She's a College of Glamour bard.
Hey everybody, I'm Luke, and we are playing Aesop, Kinku Alchemist.
What's up? My name's Kevin. I play Suncom, your apeling Bianoid monk, following the way of the abundant spirit.
My name's Slim, and/or Brian, and/or husband, whatever you want to call it. I'll be playing Rincaz, a lizard folk bounty hunter, fighter, martial archetype of the gunslinger.
I'm Kyle. I'm playing the arcane trickster Firelomedo. She just made best friends with a flying squirrel called Gumball. Oh, look at him. He's hungry.
Hi everybody, I'm Nick. I play a VD half-elf celestial warlock packed in the tome, and I have the most phenomenal familiar of all time, a pseudo-dragon named Jira.
Let's see here. Thank you for raiding us, Slim. That's very nice of you. Thank you, Brandon the Quad and Spinel, for stopping by. I appreciate it. Also, no one has really answered our quiz question from last week, so
That's free.
I'll just hold on to all these stacks of these digital gift cards. So we'll try again at the end of this month. We'll just keep doing it because it I'm sure is sort of a draw to some people. So and may pull them in to come follow or sub. So we'll keep doing it, and if there's only 5 people doing it every month, then that's a 1 out of 5 chance for everyone hanging around to get a cool little prize. So in the meantime, I just wanted to thank Zufix for following us. He followed us 2 days back, so I appreciate that. Other than that, there's really not a whole lot to go over. Let's jump right in, and I'm going to start off by handing out some inspiration.
Give me.
Let's see here. There's the inspiration.
Raw.
If I was looking to trade, if you got a trade.
No.
Hey, Looney, what's up?
The same one for like 3 weeks. It's so good, but I haven't had to use it.
I like this devil's bargain. I'm gonna keep
What is it? Just out of curiosity.
It's one of those ones you get to choose 2.
Yeah.
You have a chance to gain temporary hit points, which takes up points.
Is everybody happy with their cards?
Yeah.
All right. That's done with. Next up, we are going to... Hey, why don't you guys roll some die to see who wants to give the recap from last week?
Looks
Probably
like
Aesop.
Luke.
Thank God in heaven I'm exempt.
Oh, you gave me a run for my money.
I thought I could do recap last week. Oh, wow.
Like, every goddamn time.
Woo!
Unless I'm rolling, then it will be me.
Wait,
Yeah, I gave
the
recap last week.
Oh, baby.
Oh, I thought that. Damn it, that was 2 weeks ago.
Let's see it, monkey.
Oh, that's sweet. last week, I start out of character and say that Rincaz had a flashback when he was on a prisoner transport of some sort. It took quite a dive from how it ended. Then we woke up in Thornweald and we did some shopping. We hired a plant lady and a dwarf, and we found some seeds, and we fed some seeds, and then we met with Pata Ogo. I did some translating because not everybody's as good at languages as I am, so I translated. He told us that we were going to go and find a scro ship. Do we know that? Out of character, do we know if that was Rincaz's ship?
We don't.
We don't.
You don't.
We don't.
I don't.
He doesn't.
And then he told us that we needed a faster way to get there. So we went and rented some mounts, and they're cool. And ours is Gumball, and he's the best. And I'm gonna keep him forever.
Pretty sure he got some sort of disease.
The disease of being too lovable.
I don't know. That's
After we took the night to rest, we went on to try and find our way to the ship that we've heard about. And we ran across as I have it in my notes, a big old stompy boy. That was a giant
elephant! No.
spider thing.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the elephant. Sorry.
Nope, that's coming up. And then we came to a wall of living vines. And again, referring to my notes, Glacé threw an elephant at it, and Aesop blew it up.
It's, it's a stretch to say that Aesop blew it up.
And V.
He put the oil there, and Vidi blew it up.
Hey, that's not how my notes read.
I don't blow things up. I just kind of incinerate them or scorch them with celestial light. I don't really have any explosion type incantations. To be clear.
And that's where my notes end, so I don't know if we made it through the wall or not.
We hit the fire the wall. We put a hole in the wall, and that's where we ended.
You guys using the gear attached to your critters. They were outfitted with both barding as well as a saddle. So you guys were able to, using the barding of the creatures and the decent relative size of the burnt hole through the thorny infinity vines that sort of take over this area, you were able to begin making your way through the hole. You guys are still 6 or so stories up in the air. It's quite a drop, about 60 or so feet down. As you exit the burnt hole, the smell of burnt plant life sort of invading your nostrils. It's warm here in the jungle, but not terribly so. It's enough to be slightly uncomfortable, but that's all. The most uncomfortable thing is it's been about, say, 6 to 8 hours now that you've been riding on these mounts, and it's not incredibly uncomfortable, but just the fact that you've been doing so for hours has been a little wearing. But you guys also are trying to keep in mind that and just sort of pace yourselves, because you know that to reach the end of the forest here and begin your way towards the settlement, that you're going to need to spend a full day. So even though you've gone about 6 to 8 hours, there's still plenty of hours that you still need to go. So you each successfully make it through this hole that's been burnt through the wall. As the last person exits, can I get a marching order?
I think Aesop and Rincaz is still taking the lead because it's the stealthiest.
Alright, so we're going to put you guys up front. Who's behind them?
We will be.
Alright, next up is Sun Kong and his group. Who takes third place and who takes the caboose?
We can go back.
Alright.
Always ladies last, obvious.
There's marching orders there. So you guys are pushing through, making your way past the exit of the hole here. Fa and Glace, as you guys are the last to exit, you look behind you and can see that even with the sheer amount of sort of immolation that happened to burn this circular hole through the wall, you can see that slowly, but actually visible, which is a little out of the norm because most plant life you're not able to see it actually move. It just moves over time, and it's pretty much invisible to the eye. You now see pushing through the charred edges of the infinity vines, some greener vines that are just slowly pushing through. You get the sense that if you were to keep pushing north and do whatever you need to do with this scro settlement or whatever is up ahead, that it may require you guys to potentially have to repeat this process to get back through the wall. You do keep in mind as this happens, though, that you are on a mission to save a few people. One of them being the sisters of one of the people who lived in Thornweald, who serves as a druid. So she may potentially have some plant/earth-based magic to help out. Something you guys keep in mind as you push through. You guys continue waiting slowly, each of your mounts making its way in different ways. Your giant chameleon Aesop and Rincaz slowly shifting its claw-like grip with two fingers at each end, grabbing the trees.
Wasn't also part of the group the father of the person that lent us these mounts?
No, he's the
We're searching
prisoner.
for
One
him.
of the prisoner.
The list of the named people that have disappeared and what the chieftain, as Fa pointed out, was that was necessary to be saved, as you mentioned, Luke, was, yes, the father of the mount owner. The son's name was Gindin. His father's name is Gondrin. He needs to be rescued, potentially, or found. Also, on top of that, the warrior of the group, Bosk,
Gosh.
and the mage of the Thornweald settlement, Ego, and the druid that I mentioned before, who is a lizard folk. Her name is Iskara. She is the older sister of Fak, who owns the bookshop in Thornweald.
Had a full party they did.
They also mentioned that there may be a couple other groups of, whether they be dragonborn or lizard folk, probably more than likely something reptilian in nature, that went along with them. But those were the notably important names, and it seemed as though the chieftain was a bit surprised that his strongest warrior, Bosk, as well as Ego, had that trio, Bosk, Ego, and Iskara, have not returned yet, since he seemed to think that they could fare for themselves. So you guys were sent to check that out, and then on the way with getting the mounts, you were also told about Gondrin, the father. So you guys are trying to keep your eyes peeled for any sight of that. However, you're still currently making your way through the trees. There doesn't seem to be any majorly intelligent life that you made your way through. You guys have occasionally spotted the cluster of birds that have made their nests way high up here. It seems like a relatively safe place. You see the occasional, actually very large snake kind of shifting through the trees. Your mounts each particularly move. Yours, Aesop and Rincaz, using its tail, its claws, and occasionally even just shooting its tongue to wrap around a tree branch to give it a little bit extra leverage as it slowly stretches out to grab onto the next large tree trunk that's probably quite a few feet, 5-6 feet in its width. As this is going on, Sun Kong, as well as Fa, you and Glace, your guys' mounts, occasionally shift from one side of a tree to the other, before launching off and gliding a bit down to the next one. Yours, Glacé, seems to fall just a little faster than up front, seeing that not only are you two on it, but also Clatter, who weighs a pretty considerable amount. And surprisingly, following at a relative pace now that it seems to kind of have woken up after a bit of travel, and I'm sure in Vita you're probably occasionally shoveling a bit of food into its mouth, your treetop megatherium is moving at an actual decent pace as it uses its sharp claws to basically reach out and just dig its nails into the next tree and just pull itself over to the next one. You see its occasional longer tongue kind of flick out of its mouth into the air. You guys are traveling through. Things seem quiet right now. Is there anything you'd like to do before continuing your travels north?
Did we get enough seeds for what's-her-face, Fraxinus?
Oh, I believe we did.
I think so, because I got a bunch from searching the trees, and so did, was it Nvidi, I think?
I didn't get any that were important, unfortunately.
Oh, it's
You
Fa.
and Aesop.
Oh,
Already-
someone.
Those
I did
of
also, okay.
yeah, those
I
of
also
you.
got one, but we gave her mine already, so it's just the two of them left with
And
it.
she doesn't want Aesop's seed.
And she doesn't.
Yeah, because they're like fire seeds or something. They grow
She
into
liked mine.
torches.
Also, Kyle, you get your weird bit. Thank you for giving the recap.
Oh, yeah, sure.
29.
Yes, Sun Kong, you look down and see in one of your just like item pouches that you have I think it was 16 seeds.
I have 15 more glow blossom seeds.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez. I guess we're fine then.
Yeah, I think you got a really good check on that. So
Yeah.
you guys are making your way through. It's quiet. You hear the sound of occasional water, the rustling of trees, and you continue making your way through.
Do you think we need to stop at all for the mounts?
Are you asking God or are you asking the party?
Can we do a check on them to see if
Sure.
Yes.
a nature check would that work?
A nature check would be a great check to do. Animal handling would work too.
Nope, 10.
I'll do one. That's gonna be 15.
I got an 11.
Let's
6.
see.
Ooh, Sunkon.
21 animal handling.
15 animal handling.
Both of you, Aesop and Rincaz, are able to take a second to figure out that your mount is doing all right. You feel like the rest of the journey, they're going to probably get relatively tired out. They may stick to a place occasionally. They do occasionally, after moving from quite a few trees, take a few minutes to just take a breather, look around, and you sort of politely using the reins kind of encourage it to continue going.
Nice.
Sun Kong, yeah, you're easily able to deduce that your squirrel is doing pretty good for now. Seems to have a little bit more high-strung energy than the other mounts, so it seems to be doing fine. Nvidi, what was your total?
6 on animal handling.
You get the sense that your treetop megatherium is a very hungry boy, and because of its slow and sluggish nature, just naturally, you assume it's okay. It had just taken a nap a couple hours ago. You're not sure how long these things sleep, though. Glacé, I remember your check. What was your check? Fa?
Nature was 10.
You guys get the sense, too, that yours is relatively okay. It seems to continue scratching itself a little erratically, and you occasionally hear it chittering to itself, but it seems to move with a bit of an energetic pace more so than the giant chameleon and certainly the treetop megatherium.
Oh, it's starting to make me nervous.
Fa, you occasionally have to pull back the reins so that it doesn't try to get almost impatient and clasp on the back of the treetop megatherium trying to pass it up.
Oh, Rincaz, I think you have better eyes than me. Maybe you can keep an eye out for another one of those gigantic tree spider things as we
Ooh.
go.
Oh God, yeah.
I'll take a check now, just for the heck of it. Why not?
Oh, what was that thing? Didn't you used to live here? Think it like what was that?
Me?
Yes.
I have no memory of this place.
Oh.
I hate the jungle.
Hmm.
What was your total, Sun Kong?
17 for survival.
You were just keeping an eye out, similar to Rincaz.
Yeah. Or watching for tracks or anything that might say they're coming or went a certain way. So I
24
did
total.
survival.
Rincaz, you peer around, occasionally slipping a eye into your scope to peer around at some distance. The canopy above gives the area around here a decent amount of shadows. It's not dim light though, but it does give it the ambience of the rays of light that is actually kind of nice to look at. Although passing that massive treetop like Goliath spider or daddy longlegs looking thing gave you a bit of pause. So you cautiously look around. You don't notice anything in particular around here. It doesn't seem to be any troubles in your way. Sun Kong, you similarly looking around, using your wits about your survival abilities in this jungle atmosphere. Don't notice too many hazards in the way. It looks like it's probably going to be clear for a little while.
Well, that's
Cool.
good. That's good. Then onward we go, yes?
Yeah. Find these guys. They need our help.
Who? Who's holding them again? The general? We're looking for a general.
Yeah. His name was Grow. No, it's a scroll settlement where
Yes,
they are.
the scro are...
Thornweald- Yeah.
Mm.
I don't need to know
Well.
his name if he's scro. That's enough for me.
Well, aren't we
They're all
looking for
gross.
somebody as well, though?
We're
Like,
also
along
looking
with
for
the people we just saved.
yeah, General Udak.
Oh, Udak.
It's a good,
Udak.
good name, very guttural.
I prefer not to speak his name.
Rincaz, what did he do? You know.
It's vague from what I remember. It's been a while. I mean, I look around and kind of mutter under my breath, doing the math on my hands. 10 plus whatever years. Cough, cough.
Ooh.
Were you? Did he? I mean, were you a prisoner as well?
They took me from my home world and they were going to send me off to work. I didn't get very far. Remember vague bits of it. The last thing I really remember is hanging out with Kaz a lot.
I mean, if he was a slaver that was trying to sell you, that's good enough reason to get revenge, in my opinion. I mean,
He's doing whatever. I just want to stop him from doing it to other people.
man,
Whatever
you're
he did.
pretty zen about this, I must admit. I kind of envy you.
It's a gross profession, but I mean, I'd rather just talk logistics with the man. Maybe he could pass it down the grapevine that there are things called robots. Those murderous things that have tried to kill us everywhere. Just buy some of those. I mean, 24/7 labor, the maintenance fees, it would be a lot better than constantly and fuel fees for having. Never mind.
So if we find this general that enslaved you and Kaz, you don't want revenge?
Oh no, I mean if he doesn't want to help me change a few things, I'll probably take him out to the air cargo bay and then shove his head out into the void of space for the next 3 hours, in and out, letting him breathe just a little bit so I can put it back out there. But
Torture
aside from
burn.
that,
I'm
Yeah.
just saying,
Well, fuck me.
we get extra rewards for collecting the body parts of certain high-ranking
Sorry,
scroll
my
members, so...
computer. Goddamn.
well, we can keep certain parts. I mean, just his head has to be out in space for a while. That's all.
Can you all still hear me?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Alright.
You know, it's funny to think about that 20 years ago, a group of us might have been hunting me in the exact same way. Anyway, let's keep
Oh,
going.
yeah.
Anyway, we did a whole arc about this. Let's.
Small world. But yeah, it's, I mean, he'll get his due. It's more of not taking out the kingpin as much as the association.
Sure.
So we're looking for the scrap heap on the top of the mountain. That's where we're going.
Sounds like it.
Scrap Peak.
Scrap Peak, yeah.
I mean, it should be obvious, right? Look for a mountain, look for a bunch of scrap.
Well, he said there's a big old ship crashed over there, so
I'm hoping
that
that
should be hard to miss.
maybe if we do find it, maybe able to get a little bit of background. Maybe I could find out what happened if maybe a few more of my people.
Good plan. Yes.
You know, that's never even crossed my mind. How would I get home from the Wyrd?
Oh.
Did-
From the Wyrd?
Well, I mean, in general, I mean, Rincaz would break down the events of the past and how everything was fractured and shattered. I'm not even sure if I can get back to my planet. I'm not sure where it is here. You know, it never really crossed my mind.
Huh.
Oh my goodness.
It is interesting, isn't it?
You guys at least remember that before going to Edge's Inn, using your notes and your maps, that you'd never visited the Twixt before. Most of you had never heard of it. If anything, you heard it as whispers.
I guess, except, well, one, Aesop never went there, and two, Aesop was from the system, so you always would have been from the Twixt, I suppose?
Yes, Aesop being the outlier, as Udu was sucked into the Twixt, thus he is technically a native of the Twixt.
I mean,
Home
VD
team
would be
advantage.
from here too, right?
As well as Nvidia, I keep forgetting. We have quite a few new
And little baby Fa.
background people, yeah. Fa's a interloper who came here from somewhere else, I believe.
Oh.
And Chemo's brain was from outside?
Oh dear.
I don't remember.
Oh yeah, she's got that weird amnesia thing.
Oh, does she? Ooh. I don't know why I said that. Let's keep moving.
It's the jungle talking.
It's the jungle madness. It's setting in on me now.
Nvidia is also a native member here. He grew up in a small settlement at the base of a snowy mountain that led up to a very high-profile college.
BTU. Twixt University.
So can we checked for spiders, can we check for signs of, like passageways, something that's recently been used, to get through, like bushes being hacked, or smoke coming out
Good
from
idea.
You do remember, you can certainly make a check. You just remember that travel on the ground through the tangled timber is impossible because the ground is littered with the large fine work.
Okay.
Thus giving you a little bit of security knowing that anytime you return to Thornweald, it's relatively safe there, besides maybe the natural hostiles of the jungles. Perhaps the reason that they built it within the tangled timber in the first place.
Okay. Can we press on?
All right. You guys continue to press on, getting yourselves as comfortable as possible on your mounts for quite a few more hours of a journey through. You at least breathe a sigh of relief, understanding that because the cradle surrounds this eternally glowing greenish sun, that you, at the very least, won't have to deal with the night drawing near, making sight more difficult and perhaps more jungle predators at nocturnal times rearing their heads. So you guys continue pressing on. Let's see here. This is essentially what it looks like that you guys are making your way across on the outside of this area here. All pieces of this long strand are just miles and miles of just loose wilderness, all of it facing inward towards the sun, so it's always lit. Besides the areas like the Kintaris Valley, where there is the overcast of the rain. You guys continue pressing forward. 1 hour passes. 2, 3, 4.
Oh, oh no. The mounts seem like they're slowing down at all?
The mounts are slowing down a bit.
I suppose that means we should probably rest for the day.
Ugh.
Yeah, so that
Yes,
was
would we have to rest in the trees?
I mean,
Well,
There-
wherever we rest, we might want to be smart about it and quiet and
Yeah, we can't go on the surface.
guess you're right. Jason, are the trees large enough that we could feasibly sleep in them?
Make a nature check.
Okay. Wow. Wow. That's still a 13.
6.
What was that total on VD? Is that a straight 8?
Straight 8.
Most of you are unsure. Aesop, the trees here are unusually large. Think of over in Cali, like the redwood, just maybe even a little bit larger. I believe that's what it's called, right? They have the huge trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, the redwoods.
So some of the branches out here, what you call branches, are actually relatively large, and your mounts can actually, not comfortably, but could potentially sort of just sit on top of some of them. You get the sense that they wouldn't be able to rest. Well, let me say this. They wouldn't be able to sleep for a long rest, but they could at least stop and gather themselves for a short rest, about an hour's time before pressing on.
I suppose that's better than nothing, right?
well,
If
what
we're gonna
about that? Oh, go ahead.
if we're gonna short rest, maybe we do it on the ground and look for some seeds that are resting.
You say this fall as you look down, seeing the tangle of massive thorns that cover the ground.
Probably not a good idea.
Well, you don't know if you don't try, but okay.
Maybe we should push on for an hour and see if we find anything.
Yeah, I guess 1 more hour and then at least stop so the mounts can rest.
Well, Fall does have a point as well. I mean, we can take a look at the ground. What if there's something secret down there that we aren't finding? I don't know, that's how scro get around or something.
Todd tries to hide from her question.
I think we should just... I'm going with Rincaz's plan.
Honestly, I don't know why there's not hotels in these trees. They're big enough. Jeez.
Amen, sister.
You guys want to press on for maybe another hour?
Yeah.
Probably a good idea.
You continue pushing on. You guys are making sure, like I said, the mounts stop occasionally for a couple minutes to catch their breaths. They're all moving. None of them are... They're not speedily moving through the forest. They seem to be, because of their domesticated nature, naturally pacing themselves. It seems like they've done this plenty of times before, so they seem to have a natural, moderate pace that they're going. Occasionally stopping. You guys occasionally pulling out a fistful of feed so that they can nibble on it. Occasionally you have to quickly pull your hand away, Glossy, as you try to give Gumball some of your feed.
You feed her, Paw.
You gotta put your hand out flat. Ow!
Travel continues across the treetops about 60 feet up from the surface. about 40 minutes out from this conversation, and you guys begin to see through some of the forest clearings what look like some type of growth or some type of bulging shapes that begin to take shape on some of the trees through the foliage that you can see. They're not as dark as the bark of the trees. They have more of a diluted tannish, almost cream color to some of them. Some going a bit more golden in nature. Make perception checks, everyone.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's-
shit, I'm on a roll.
Oh, 19.
18 total.
12.
Oh shit! Using your collective ears, you guys as a group are able to make out what sounds like the beating of insect wings, not too far off.
Is that good? Is that bad?
Well, could be either in this jungle.
I'm
Could
sure
be
they're
done with it.
butterflies, everyone.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Can I tell what direction it's coming from?
Sun Kong, Rincaz, Fa, you guys are able to get the sense that it's coming from up ahead where you're trying to push your way through. However, the exact direction you're a little unsure of. You just hear the occasional flittering of what sounds like insect wings coming from ahead. As you are listening out in VD, your treetop megatherium actually lifts its head into the air and you see its snout flare as it sniffs.
Mr. Hugs, do you know what that is?
Its tongue spools out of its mouth into the air and back in.
Do you want more seeds, Mr. Hugs? Is that it?
Mr. Bubs! Mr. Bubs! You grab a fistful of feed and put it to its face. It throws its tongue into your palm to slap a couple bits of feed to its mouth, but it doesn't seem as distracted by the typical fistful of feed that it has before. Its attention almost seemingly drawn to something else.
Ooh, maybe
Can-
that's food.
Can I kind of encourage it to go after whatever it's interested in? Go towards it?
As you are paying attention to it, kind of watching its awareness, you notice it seems to be more lively than it's ever been, which is still pretty slow, but at least almost matching the relative pace of most of the other mounts. It continues to push faster and faster, still in line, but it seems almost enthusiastic to push forward.
I think Mr. Hugs is on to something, everybody.
Maybe
All
it
right.
should go first. It looks like it knows the way either around it or to it.
It's pretty slow, though, isn't it?
Hey, that might be a good thing if we're tracking something. It'll keep us a little bit off the radar.
Mhm.
Lead the way, Nvidia and Mr. Hugs.
All right. I suppose we're doing this.
Are you guys trading places?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right.
What is this, the 90s?
Ugh.
No, thank God.
Wrong with the 90s.
Trading spaces.
Oh.
You guys switch spots, having the treetop megatherium take place up front. It continues pushing forward. You guys cautiously, continuing to keep an ear out for the sounds that you heard from up ahead, continue to push through the trees and the long branching that they're able to mostly crawl across. You continue pushing forward. Even out this far, there's still the occasional affinity vine patches that shoots up, but your domesticated mounts seem pretty well trained to steer clear of any of it. The large majority of them continuing to push on. You guys find yourselves pushing through the forest, and I'm going to move the maps as the sound of the beating wings grows more ever present. There is a batch of branches and foliage that the group that you guys push through, and you find yourselves here. As you peer around this area, you heading up front in VD on your treetop megatherium. It looks a bit precarious, as does most of the travel here, making your way across the larger branches. Up ahead, you get the sense that you take into the stock, perhaps, the interest of the treetop megatherium, seeing what look like large, at least what the typical ant size is, although they're still tiny. But in this case, actually they'd be small size, so they're like rat-size ants. You notice that your treetop megatherium pulls against your reins a bit more emphatically. However, over on the other side, towards your guys' left, you see now this growth that you saw before, as it has come into view, is what looks to be a large hive of some sort. You see a insect-like creature, similar to a hornet, though much larger in size, crawling around, the wings on it occasionally flittering. You see its abdomen bobbing up and down just a bit, a sharp, what looks like a stinger on the far end.
Nope.
Hey guys, I've got a crazy idea.
Oh,
No, that was a joke. Let's leave this thing alone.
Yeah, let's not fuck with the giant one.
If we have to, like, if we're forced in by any reason, I've got a grenade to put inside of the nest that I would love to do. It would bring me great joy.
Please don't, Rincaz.
Aren't you immune to poison?
I just don't like wasps. There's one thing in this world I don't like. It's turn off the turn order thing, Jason. That's not funny.
I'm just gonna have you guys go in turn order,
Turn it off. Fucking turn it off.
if you don't mind.
Rat-sized ants. I had to deal with fire ants this week at my apartment.
I have
D&D,
smoke
that's
bombs.
right.
Doesn't that like do something to bees?
It pisses them off. Or makes them hungry. I don't know.
I thought it made them.
Neither is good.
I thought it made them sleepy. I don't know. I never raised bees.
Oh my god.
I hate you, Jason.
Fa, have you raised bees before?
Huh? No, I don't remember.
I bet you raised bees in a previous life.
You seem like someone who's
You-
raised bees.
I don't know. She seems to really like squirrels.
Well, I mean, who doesn't like squirrels? They're so cute.
Yes, they're like rats, but their tails have fur on them.
You want to try raising bees? I'll give you an A for effort.
I kind of point at my own tail. I'm like, yeah, fairy tails make them cute.
You want to punch in your initiative there, Rincaz?
No, I don't want to roll it. Then if I roll initiative, then I have to fight bees.
Those
Like,
of
no,
you,
no, I don't.
those of you at the top left of your mounts, you're like technically the person who's up at the front, who is
See?
using the reins to control the mount. Also, remember that these are domesticated, so should you so choose, you could forgo giving them a command and they'll move naturally. It's up to you.
See, you asked me to roll initiative, and what happened?
You felt that in your bones. That's why you
I
didn't want
knew it.
Glace, you are up first.
So we're gonna try. Okay. Alright. Okay, little buddy. Yep.
The large-looking hornet-like creature seems to be occasionally crawling along the surface of its nest. It doesn't at least appear to have noticed you yet, though you are not completely sure without a check.
I'm gonna check.
You yell.
Everybody!
I've checked my pants. There's pee in them.
Who put that there? perception check. 11.
It's difficult to tell.
Well, I'm gonna give. Can I use my mantle of inspiration where I give everybody the choice to move to me without using their turn? If that makes sense.
We're all pretty much together.
Well, if I move with this critter and fall, can I use mantle of inspo to get my part?
Mantle of
why not.
Inspiration. Let's take a
That makes
look.
sense to me.
Or is that, what is that called, man? Yeah, it's where everybody gets 11 temporary HP, and 5 creatures that can see and hear me within 60 feet can immediately use their reaction to move its speed without provoking opportunity attacks.
I would think that would make sense, because it's your turn, so you're doing a move and then you're action.
Yeah.
Done it on melts before.
No reaction.
You get the sense, Glosse, that it is possible. Clearly the mounts can hear you as you say this.
Okay.
However,
Eh,
they're not as intelligent as your party members. Thus,
Well,
you would have to make an animal handling check to see if they respond to you calling them towards you.
Okay, I'll try it. So I want to first move this, or try to get this little squirrel thing to move for us.
Okay, it easily, as it has been for hours now, begins to shift forward, almost moving towards the side of this giant branch and using its sharp claws to kind of move past the others. Go ahead and move. You should have control of it. If not, let me know to move where you'd like to go.
I do. I'm just trying to select only mine. Okay, here we go. I don't have control.
Okay, you should now.
Okay.
I think that
Alright.
was the duplicate I had to create, so I didn't assign it to that one. Everyone should have control. Yeah, all of you guys should now, at least.
And I don't have the squirrel card up, so I don't know the movement.
Your squirrel can move 30 feet. It can climb 30 feet. And it can glide. Well, you're not sure.
Oh, okay. And so when we look down, we just see the infinity vines. Or
Yes,
the
you
thorns.
do. You know that all you've been doing is been pressing forward up at this height as to avoid the large vines. You get the sense that maybe the large vines that are like the size, that have the thorns that are like the size of your head, maybe those are overgrown infinity vines. Either way, they litter the surface. So all you're really trying to do is you peer forward, Glosse. You see at the far end of this area another branch that seems to expand out a bit. You can see almost what looks like a area of the branch that almost seems like well trodden, as if this is an actual path, and you feel like that's the area that you just need to continue pushing forward to. However, to get there, you have to stay on top of the branches that you see around you.
Okay. Okay, then I will do 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. Would that be okay right there, I guess? I'm kind of on NVD's
Yep.
Mr. Hugs.
I'll say you can shift right there.
Okay.
So it doesn't look like a way we could go, like, a little bit, like, lower down, but not into the thorns, does it? Like, maybe we could pass underneath them without bothering the wasp? Or does it not look like that's possible?
Because of the spacing of the trees, you feel like there is the potential, depending on your mount's grip, that it could potentially crawl underneath these branches that they are currently on and attempt to evade the attention of the large insect over there. But
doing
it
that.
doesn't look like you could because of the spacing of the trees, it looks like you're going to have to make use of the branches around here to travel across.
Okay, but we can try to go underneath them.
Correct.
Like,
You could attempt it.
Okay.
You feel, though, that if you do that, those of you who are mounted on it would perhaps have to make some type of check to stay comfortably on the mount. It seems like the mounts are all able to do that because of their natural climbing ability. But those of you without a natural climbing ability may have to make some type of check. Sun Kong, you feel relatively comfortable in all this.
Yeah.
Some of the rest of you may not.
Well, Aesop, your lizard boy can change colors, right?
Yes.
Oh shit.
So, what's going on here?
Okay, I moved here.
But I mean, yeah, you're fine up there. I'm wondering what's going on down here. Why? What's going on with this giant chameleon who's jumped on top of?
I did not mean to move it.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure. Okay. Glace, you climbing to the side of this branch, Shifford, you can now hear the crinkling sound of the scratching of bark coming from up ahead. You assume it's coming from the larger ants that you see shifting around up to your right, up the path. You also see a couple patches of the thorny infinity vine stretching out around here.
Okay, well, I don't know how helpful my mantle of inspo would be on this branch, since we're all kind of, like, cluttered up.
Maybe we save it in case we need to make an escape from bees.
I wonder, what if I just hypnotize it?
The one bee?
Yes! Dazzle it with colors!
What's the worst that could happen, he said.
Unless you all don't want me to even... You know, I don't have to mess with it.
I mean, we have to try something, right?
Yes, in that case, I will cast... Sorry guys, I wasn't expecting to cast this. Hypnotic Pattern.
This is great.
It's 120 range, so... I can definitely hit it from here. And... concentration up to 1 minute. It's a wisdom saving throw, and it's a DC 17.
It's a pretty high DC.
It's a 30-foot cube of hypnotic colors.
You want to draw that for me?
I
will. Are you able to access those things?
Yes. Draw shape.
Yeah, you draw it where you want. I'm going to make the save for the critter.
Roll 20, draw shape, please. Please.
No, I refuse.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Is that right? Holy shit. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Now, in this area, creatures who are affected by this, what happens to them?
Yes. The pattern appears for a moment and vanishes. Each creature in the area who sees this pattern must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature becomes charmed for the duration. While charmed by this spell, the creature is incapacitated and has a speed of 0. The spell ends for the affected creature if it takes any damage or if someone else uses an action to shake the creature out of its stupor.
What does it look like, Glace, as you flick your fingers towards this hornet-looking insect and cast the spell?
It looks like just a whole bunch of butterflies just floating around, and then they disappear.
Shifting around this hornet-like creature, where it was looking down more towards its nest, now looks up. Its wings occasionally flittering more erratically. Its abdomen with a stinger bobs up and down more frantically as it seems to stare up at this pattern that you've created.
Okay, we have 1 minute, everyone.
Let's move.
Well, did it work or not?
It looks.
It looks like it might have. We don't know. We'll find out.
Very quickly.
With that, Glace, you and Fa are on the same mount. Fa, did you want to do anything as you see Glace do this?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull a small cube out of my pocket, hit the third side, and create a barrier around us. This is my cube of force.
Ooh.
It does not permit living matter to pass through the barrier.
Hell yeah.
Oh, did you make that?
I did.
That's cool.
Hold on. Now that I think about that,
Would you please draw that for me?
it's 15 by 15. But hold on, now that I'm thinking about it, trees probably count as living matter. Don't
Yeah.
Technically,
Huh?
yes.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Hard to port on that. Let's. Oh, God. Sorry. Now I have to be that guy. Nope. You know what? Goddamn clatter. Yeah.
Oh, you spellcasters.
I will hold an action if old D-Bun starts coming after us. I am going to cast a spell that I will figure out in the interim.
So you're saying if you see that big insect kind of try to come at you, you're gonna throw something at it?
Yeah, if I figure that it hasn't succumbed to the dancing lights.
Okay, what are you readying in your hands as you kind of keep an eye on it?
Can do phantasmal force.
Okay. You all see Fa pulling her hands together, mists and motes of what look like arcane energy forming as she readies a spell just in case.
Everything's gonna be fine.
Right.
Sure.
You end your turn. I guess Clatter's climbed on top of you, Glace.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Get out of here, Clatter. You watch Glace and Fa, keeping you guys being at the front of the pack, keeping your eyes peeled at this large hornet-like creature that seems to be distracted as it shifts around erratically, staring at this pattern that Glace has created. Something catches out of the corner of your eye. You think at first it may be infinity vines or some type of foliage. In between you and the hornet, about midway, you look down and see a small creature crawling from the side of the branch. It has 2 arms, 2 legs. It looks almost humanoid in shape, though very small. Its body looking almost made up naturally of a plant-like nature. It has what looks like hair, but made out of sharp bramble. On its elbows and knees, pointed thorns, and its tiny, sharp claws look similar to thorns themselves. It crawls up and looks over towards you. You hear it go, and it turns towards the hornet, and you hear it go. You watch, Glace, as the hornet creature shifts a bit, its abdomen shifting up and down.
What is that thing?
Quickly shifts, turning 180 degrees, no longer looking at your pattern, but towards the rest of your group.
What a little shit! Kill it!
Can I yell at it in Sylvan? We come in peace, motherfucker!
It looks your way, but makes no mention or reply.
Okay.
All right.
What a little
Aesop,
asshole! What a
you're
little
up.
asshole! Fuck this thing! I will smite you off the face of this planet! You're dead! Your whole family's dead! Oh.
Dead, you're all dead.
Alright. Fuck this. Alright. 5, 10, 15. I'm gonna throw a fucking bomb at this thing.
Your giant
Yes.
chameleon crawling to the edge of what looks like the branch here. It looks like you could make a jump across the other one. You just need to make an animal handling check to land safely. You quickly readying a concoction of a fire blast in hand, or a fire concoction in hand, ready to toss it.
Fuck you! 14 to hit.
I'll move Rincaz with you there. Let's see here. 14 to hit. Is that just versus AC?
It's versus AC, yes.
That hits.
He takes 23 fire damage.
An explosion of fire erupts across the branches. How big is this blast of fire, Aesop?
It is just adjacent and 5 feet to him.
Okay, so it's not like this super immolating thing.
Yeah, I didn't put down any oil this time.
Okay. However, a fire has started, though clearly you see it hitting the creature.
Oh, good. This is good.
This is fine.
Chameleon, jump across, please.
Hang on.
Mr.
just a
Reginald.
second.
It's a good thing this whole planet isn't made out of wood.
Look. Okay, look. Okay.
I have a decanter of endless water.
See,
It's fine.
everything's fine.
You watch, Aesop, as this little creature within immolates from the blast, and you hear it. It squeals.
Oh, good. That's what you get. You little fuck. I don't even know what you are. You're ruining our plans.
The fire doesn't blast this entire area, but you do notice it beginning to take hold of the branches up ahead.
That's fine.
Anything else, Aesop?
I would like... I just realized I have now forced us to travel along the vine that has the ants on it.
That looks like it's the our way out.
I could have cast friends on it, you know.
It is already proven that it is very much not a friend. Jason,
Mm-hmm.
does it look like I have another way across other than the branch that is now currently on fire?
You feel as though it's possible to push ahead where the ants are and either attempt to jump through the bramble here to a more secure spot over on the other side, or if you'll see where I'm pinging over here, you could attempt to jump over across this way, though it looks a bit more fishy. Either way does not look particularly safe.
Okay, I move back.
All right.
Alright, it looks like we're pushing through the ants, everyone.
Are you gonna move back to a spot adjacent to Sun Kong and them?
Yes.
Instead of on top of them.
Also, we'll move Rincaz along with you.
Yeah. This is as far as I can move them out this turn, though, I think.
Okay, we'll say you like crawl right here then.
Okay.
Or you could be one back more if you want.
Alright, apologies, that was a little impulsive, but you saw what he did!
Talk to his little friend. Big
Sun-
friend.
I just
Sun-
keep laughing and applauding him. Good show.
Sun
So
Kong, you're up.
It don't happen though.
So does the giant wasp look like it's noticed us then?
Yes. It seems to have looked past the very small creature, not noticing it, and whatever it did to irritate the hornet, its attention is now drawn to the 4 mounts covered in people.
Alright, so we're fighting this thing, huh? Alright. Well, I don't want my mount to get attacked. It's not a fighter. So I'm actually gonna probably hop off of it, because I can navigate these branches myself.
Sure. You realize that you are a very dexterous simian. Ukog nods her head, saying go for it, as she is happy to take the front reins and let you try to engage with the hostile wasp up ahead, or hornet-like creature.
So this area is on fire?
It's not like just covered in flames. The picture is a little misleading, but you do see that the fire is beginning to spread a little bit. You feel like if you could push through it, you may just take a little bit of damage. You feel like if left uninterrupted, it would continue to grow.
Oh, okay. Noted. Even just regular fire is bad. I'll just use not fire from now on.
Alright, I'm going to... Let's see, I'm gonna run, but which way... Where do I want to
You have
jump?
like 80 speed normally, but
I'm
what's your
just trying to...
what's your climb speed? Is it the same?
Oh yeah, I climb at speed.
What the fuck?
I'm a monkey, yo!
Why didn't you guys ride Sun Kong?
I can climb full speed, yeah.
You're telling me.
I'm just trying to decide where I want to jump. I think from where far is looks like the easiest.
I will say, Sun Kong, in this very special situation, I know that the companions or the helpers' hands typically stay with you no matter where you go. In this special situation, because they do not have the same dexterous climb nature as you do, they'll stay on the mounts and not go with you.
No, I was not gonna bring Ogremush with
Okay.
me. I was not gonna. That's fine.
You see a sneer on his face, but a look as though he cannot make it out where you seem to be going as you slowly shift off the mount, just placing your palms and your feet that similarly almost have the same nature of these like hand-like grips as you make your way across the treetop here.
Alright, I want to jump to here.
Alright, make me a acrobatics check.
Easy. As long as I don't roll a 1, I should be fine.
Don't
Don't.
say
Why
that.
would you do that?
I like tempting fate. Oh, nice. So that's a 27.
You fought a Taras before, Sun Kong. You jump from one side to another. You could do this in your sleep.
Yeah. So that's 30. 35. 45.
You feel like you could push forward, but you just may take a lick of fire damage pushing through.
Can I try to just jump over it as well?
Certainly, I would just require another, it seems to be pretty easy, but another acrobatics check. Only because the branches up here are a bit precarious.
19.
You easily make it, dodging the fire. You see now the creature shifting around. Make a perception check now that you're... Actually, yes, make a perception check. This won't consume your action. This is just something you would naturally... You wouldn't even have to spend your action doing, because at this point, with you close enough, you are able to notice that hiding almost completely underneath the branches here are two more of these briar-like creatures.
Fuck them up.
I'm going after the wasp, even though I don't want to.
Ugh.
I mean, if it's seen us anyway, what are we gonna do?
You
Use
can't,
fire on it.
or not.
Well, actually, well,
You got those boots.
so there's an opening, like in the picture on the thing.
Looks like a relatively decent-sized opening in what looks to be just, yeah, like a very large insect nest.
I'll use this time to remind everyone that everyone does have 3 fire bombs.
Oh yes, that's what I was thinking.
I hate how realistic this thing looks.
Right? And those are like 60 feet, right? The fire bombs?
They are 30 feet range.
30 feet? Okay, that's still within range. Well, actually, I might move a little more.
You can also do long range for 60 feet, but you have disadvantage.
50... 50... Come on. Nope, I'm on the wrong thing. Sorry. So this was 50, 55, 60... 65... Actually...
You hear a
I'll
chittering
end my
of the
turn
creature.
That's okay. I'll end my turn next to this thing, and I will try to throw a firebomb into the nest.
Oh.
I'm gonna take a page out of Rincaz's book.
Man.
Try to toss the bomb into
Ready a flask of caustic fluid within. You reel back and toss through the air, aiming for the what looks to be medium to large sized hole up ahead, trying to land it right within the nest. Make me a what is it, like a just dexterity toss?
Okay.
An anarchy check.
It's just a base dex? Alright, cool. That's cool.
Which should be pretty good
Okay,
for you.
16.
You throw. What was your modifier for that?
It's a +5. My dex.
You toss. Because of your distance and how close in proximity you are, you watch your firebomb fly curling through the air. It hits the lip of the nest entrance and does that thing where it curls around it just a bit before falling within. You hear the cracking of glass and the sound of flames.
That's my blood, baby!
Alright, and
You also hear the sound of beating wings.
I was afraid of that, but I mean, we attack one, I figure it doesn't matter, so... and so with that...
Burn down this fucking planet, y'all.
We don't live here, so fuck it.
The elders have spoken. Please never come here again.
And as a bonus action, I will activate Patient Defense to take the dodge action.
What, go ahead and just give me a roll for the damage that you would do.
Okay, so
Just
what is
1d10.
1d10? Okay. I have it written down. Huzzah!
Oh!
Oh!
Get a
Wow.
point. Nice.
Pretty good.
Thanks, Aesop!
It's fine. They're infinity vines. Everything's fine.
It's the
They need to be
perfect...
cut back anyway.
Everything. I look at Rec. Fine.
Boo!
Space
throws up.
after us.
Anything
So,
else, Sun Kong?
I will activate the, I'll use the key point to activate, Patient Defense. It's the dodge action.
Not a bad idea, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh no, what does that mean?
Because I'm right next to whatever this fucker is.
Have you never hit a hornet's nest with a tennis racket before?
Oh yeah, you know.
Have you ever put a firecracker into a hornet's?
Can I just
Question.
point out that this is the perfect plan? The scro won't be able to slave here because the entire structure of this planet will be burnt down completely.
Or covered in bees.
Or covered in bees.
Glacé, is there any language about your spell that talks about creatures entering the area?
Well, it
Oh, God.
flashes, so it's no longer there. It's
Okay.
it was only for a flash.
Gotcha. So we can get rid of this sucker.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Sun Kong, you see the large hornet turn to you, and you now begin to smell the faint smell of burning as you look
Good.
towards the entrance of the nest and now begin to see the subtle look of the wispy smoke beginning to rise out from within. The
Yeah, don't mess with us.
massive winged hornet-like insect flits over, landing down.
I don't like it one bit.
Not
Oh,
before I get my opportunity attack.
It flies at you with some speed, straight
wait.
towards you.
I get
And-
my opportunity attack. If it's
Okay,
moving.
so about right here, go ahead and make your opportunity attack. Your spell goes off, rather.
Yeah. It has to make a DC 16 whiz bang save. That's wisdom for all you in the know.
It fails.
It fails. It
Oh.
takes 8. Blam. 16 psychic damage. It cannot. I always know its location, so long as it's in range. Can't be invisible, and that's it.
Okay. You notice a bit of hesitation and almost hear a chittering coming from the hornet-like creature Sun Kong as it flies your way. You look back to see that Fa has thrown her spell onto it, dealing a bit of what looks like mental damage. But the hornet-like creature still seems to be speeding at you at some rate,
Excuse me.
trying to essentially charge into you. It
Wait a minute, that's disadvantage.
lowers its head, attempting to just throw itself into you. I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Ooh, strength. That. Alright, it's not horrible.
You quickly throw up your hands in attempts to parry it away.
It's a 14. It's not great, but it's not.
You die.
You
Yeah.
are almost knocked over, but quickly throw one of your feet back and gripping it tightly against the branch are able to hold yourself up.
Can we say for flavor, like, it kind of knocks me over, but I grab onto the branch with my tail and flip myself back up on top?
Yes, you do exactly that.
Ah,
It attempts to use its massive abdomen to just, like, swiveling on its side, just smash its large abdomen into you.
wise guy, eh?
It completely misses as
Yeah,
you
why?
quickly use a palm to push it out of the way. However, you notice as you palm it away, the stinger at the end of the abdomen shifts towards you. Does a 17 hit AC?
No! No, it does not.
It misses you.
Whew. That thing's look nasty.
You watch now at the entrance of the nest as shifting, you watch the entrance begin to grow in size. You now see a bigger belch of smoke come out, and you now see the flickering flames as another hornet-like creature crawls out. Its body slightly charred from your attack.
Oh, it's the same size.
Yeah, no, it's just, yeah.
It quickly flies towards you, attempting to
No
charge you.
disadvantage.
This is another strength saving throw as it tries to charge you.
Oh, fam.
We love you, Sun Kong.
Huzzah. 13.
So Kong, you do not take any damage, but the force of its charge just railing its body against yours knocks you prone.
Son of a bitch.
And because you had your defense up, I believe that just makes attacks
Yeah.
go for normal, right?
I would think.
No
Yeah.
disadvantage. All right, so you kind of fall over, quickly catching yourself with both hands so you don't fall off, but you are knocked prone as it attempts to, similarly to the other one, slam its abdomen down on top of you for 18 versus AC.
Matches.
All right, it hits you for, let's see here, 13 bludgeoning damage.
Can you only do inspiration on your turn?
Unless the card specifically says otherwise.
Okay. Making sure.
It slams down its abdomen on top of you for 13 bludgeoning damage. And Sun Kong, you see at your neck now the stinger jut out towards you. Oof, let's see here.
Oh,
That's gonna be 15 versus AC.
Ah,
You quickly shift your neck out of the way as you see the stinger land, sinking into by quite a few inches into the wood nearby next to your head.
it's fine.
You wrestle yourself between these two large hornet-like creatures. When out of the periphery of your vision, you see another belch of smoke as a third climbs out.
Okay, well, I guess we're gonna have to save the monkey, everyone.
this is a bad idea, guys.
This one flies.
Right into the fire, right?
Go back there.
It
Into the fire.
hovers over the fire, listlessly flying through the air.
To it.
Although you do see where Sun Kong's volley of his firebomb did seem to burn it a bit. You can see some char marks on it. It flies over towards you guys, about right here. Staying in the air, it picks up speed as it approaches. And
Yeah,
attempts
I'm with Bob.
to hit you and Vidi. I need you to make a strength saving throw.
All right. 6.
Little baby in me.
You are knocked prone, which means you fall off of the mount.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's not horrible.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Let's see, what's a good, we'll do this, like you're falling like a meteor.
Oh, falling, everyone.
The hornet slams into you. You slip off of the treetop megatherium and begin to quickly fall. You throw a hand to try to grip towards the nearby branch and just miss.
Oh, he's falling.
Yes.
Is Featherfall a reaction? I cast Featherfall. I throw a little orb that hits Nvidia in the back, and a parachute explodes out of the back.
Alright. And Vidi, your quick ascent is slowed as you look up to see Fa, her hand emanating with arcane energy, seeming to slow down your descent, though you are still slowly falling. How does that work, Fa? What is that? What speed would he fall now?
60 foot around.
Okay. 60 foot around, you say?
Yeah.
And by the rules of D&D, if you fall immediately.
Yeah.
I thought it was slowed on Featherfall. Like,
Yeah, Featherfall, I think, makes them slow down.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
makes you fall half
A
speed.
falling creature's rate of descent slows to 60 foot per round until the spell ends.
If I don't look down, I don't fall, right? This is an Acme cartoon.
If the creature lands before the spell ends, it takes no fall damage and can land on its feet. It's got a duration of 1 minute.
I mean, it doesn't mention landing in brambles, to be fair.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it's not taking fall damage.
Fall
It
damage.
doesn't take
Still take damage.
So, I have mentioned it before, you guys are 60 feet up in the air. So, Nvidi, you feel your ascent slow, however, you are still falling, and you look down, seeing the approaching mass, this tangle of both normal size vine work and also huge vines that weave in and out of this almost carpeted mess below you. You feel as though as you begin to descend very closer towards it, that you're not going to take as much damage because you're not just falling at a huge velocity into the mass of this. You stretching out your feet to hopefully find some purchase. You feel your feet begin to sink into the vine work, and you take 3 piercing damage. You feel like, Nvidia, as your body begins to sink slowly more and more into it, that it's possible maybe to crawl out of this, though each time you try to wrestle yourself out, you may take more damage because of the precarious nature of this mass that you are slowly getting entangled in. As the hornet finishes that, it turns towards you, Fa, and slings its abdomen your way.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
For 26 versus AC.
Oh, let me check. Yeah.
Alright. It smashes into you for 14 bludgeoning damage.
Oh, Jesus.
You're slung back, nearly toppling over off of the mount, but you hold, gripping onto the reins, holding yourself on. The stinging tail of the hornet shoots out towards you.
Whoa.
This time for 13 versus AC.
Oh, that's an easy miss.
The chittering nature of your Glymera, this gumball, helps you to quickly dodge as the stinger nearly catches you in your abdomen.
Ugh.
Rincaz, you're up.
Well,
And VD has slowly fallen, but descended into the bramble below. 2 of these large hornet-like creatures are attacking Sun Kong. There seems to be these other strange-looking little critters that are humanoid in nature but very small, like the size of those ants, that seem to be shifting around. And there's one that seems to be attacking Glacé and Fa.
I wish I could have had initiative on this. This sucks. I could have thrown the gift grenade and a firebomb in the same turn. My card lets me do that and move an extra 30 feet. I will gain advantage on my next attack roll and increase my speed by...
Okay. Gain advantage, and I will say that you, because this is your inspo card, that you can give this 30 feet to your mount, so you can move an extra 30 feet on top of it.
Yes. Are we able to move that way, closer towards Sun Kong anyway, with chameleon grippy hands?
Hang on just a second. Point it out to me again.
Anywhere closer towards Sun Kong.
Yes, you obviously... Well, the
wasp got in the way.
It's not like at level with you in your way, but it is hovering in the air. And to get across, you would need to jump. You feel like you could potentially do it, but because the hornet is in the way, it would be very dangerous.
Or very fun.
Or very fun.
No, don't listen to me, please. Bad idea.
And I can't use, even if I did use my potion of climbing, I can't get across to help him. Fuck it. This thing's gonna die. I'll see if I can roast it and then gain advantage. Or get my movement at the end of... Stupid ass giant. Sorry. Let's see, that will be 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm moving 20 feet.
Alright,
15
you,
feet.
you should have control of the mount, so you can move it with you.
Oh, I'm hopping off.
Oh! Okay.
Jason's like, I love this. I love you all hopping off of your lifelines.
Oh no, this thing's gonna roast.
You move up, becoming adjacent to it. It's like 5 feet adjacent above you, but it's still adjacent to you.
Question.
Uh-huh.
Since I have not used any of my effects from the card, can I change the bonus on the attack just to a bonus action? An extra bonus action instead? Because it said pick 2 from there.
I'll say yes.
I pull out Big Deborah.
All right.
I point Big Deborah. I have advantage on attacks anything adjacent to me with this weapon. I can only shoot things adjacent next to me. I shoot it twice with Big Deborah.
All right. 2 ringing concussive blasts from Big Deborah. The shotgun ring out.
I yell to everyone, cover your ears. If these things don't kill us, maybe something else will find us after that. First attack. Does a 20 hit?
Yes.
That is... $17 damage from the first one.
Okay.
The second attack. 24
That hits.
for 15 damage.
All right. Solid stuff as you let loose 2 shells into the hornet-like creature. You see now its body is pocked with this blast from your gun. Although you now notice at this distance from it, it already kind of looks like its body has these strange, gross-looking pockets within its shell, as well as the general char that surrounds it from a bit of Sun Kong's firebomb from earlier.
I'm going to use my extra bonus action to reload Big Deborah and action surge to shoot it again with Big Deborah.
Alright, gritting your teeth, you quickly reload using your resourcefulness and your firearm proficiency to reload Big Deborah. You hear the click as you pull it back and point it back at the hornet-like creature ready to fire again.
28 to hit
That's gonna hit.
for 17.
A third blast rings out, blasting into the creature.
Is it
It
still
reels
alive?
back, pieces of its chitinous form blown off, and a bit of its wings, but it still flitters in the air.
I'm going to use a point of grit to increase the damage.
Holy shit.
Hell yeah.
Oh. Oh no.
22.
22 to hit?
Yes.
Are you shooting again?
Yeah. My the second wind gives me another set of attacks.
Oh, I see. Yes, a 22 will hit.
So this one will have 1 additional die since I used a point of grit. For 21 damage.
You fire another blast. The creature shifts around erratically as you blow off 1, maybe 2 of its legs as you see them scatter from the just impact. It flitters in the air, slightly wobbly now, but still hovers in the air, now turning its attention clearly towards you.
As a bonus action, once per short rest, I can make a special bite attack. If it hits, I gain 1 temporary hit point.
Jesus Christ, dude.
This is it. This is all I got, folks. Kill this thing. What the hell is it? I haven't used it in forever.
Chomp! Chomp! Chomp!
There it is. But yeah, that's my strength, so it's gonna suck. Alright.
Unless you crit it.
Plus 5. That'll be 1d20 plus 5. 21.
That hits.
Holy shit.
Hell yeah.
And it deals a... That's right, 1d6. Alright, I haven't done this in forever.
You guys watch as Rincaz leans out from the edge of the branch here and just sinks his teeth into one of the legs of the creature,
Oh,
pulling it
gross.
free from its body. It's very crunchy, Rincaz.
That's 6 damage.
Not bad.
And I gain 3 temporary hit points, or hit points equal to my Constitution modifier, so 3.
It looks as though you dealt a sizable amount of damage to this creature, as its occasional flitter is a little less lively than it used to be coming over here.
Looks as though I shat my pants because I thought this thing would be dead by now.
Anything else, Rincaz?
I can move an extra 30 feet, so I dance in a circle for 30 extra feet. That's it.
Alright. And Vidi, you find yourself about thigh level in a massive mass of sharp thorns.
Am
What do
I
you do?
still falling?
You're no longer falling. You have slowly tucked yourself into this bed of thorns. You look around. You see that back south, or down, kind of like looking south, you look up and see the branch that all of your friends are on, following it back to the main trunk of the tree that it is attached to, seeing that it's about 40 feet away.
Are you okay?
Okay is a relative term.
Right.
Can I... Alright, so I'm not falling anymore.
No?
Do I feel like the stabby ground is stable enough for me to stand on? Be able to either brace
It's like-
myself or exit?
It's like a huge ball pit. You're not standing, but you're basically tucked into the vines upright. So you're not moving anywhere, but you don't feel the surface of the ground. You feel like this mess of vines is high enough off the ground that you're not touching it. But you are upright, so technically you're standing.
I'm trying to figure out if I feel like if I move I would fall through.
Because of the thickness of this vine work, you don't feel like you'd fall through. You could probably stay on top, but you would be essentially crawling over glass. It would be very painful
For you?
for you.
What's
Just-
my line of sight to the bug?
There is nothing in between you and your sight to the bug. You can look straight up and see that 60 feet up is a pretty hurt hornet from the sounds of the fire coming from Rincaz's gun up above. You
my arms
actually
free?
see pieces of its chitinous body kind of falling now into the vine work at your feet. Your hands are free, yeah. So you're like at thigh level in the vines. You've like stepped into the shallow end of a pool, except instead of water, it's covered in a massive bed of vines that have thorns all over them.
This is fine.
Just fine.
This is fine. It looks badly damaged.
It looks like it's definitely taken some damage. You can make a knowledge check to see exactly how much, or get a better idea, but it looks like it's definitely
Sure.
taken some. It looks like it's missing a couple legs. One of its wings is a little fucked up.
How about nature check?
Sure.
Well, it looks like a bug. I got a 3.
It looks like Rincaz shot it a couple times, but you've never really seen a hornet-like creature this big, so you have no idea. You usually
And it
just
got
slap
long.
them and move on.
Yeah.
Love it.
What's my range to it now that I've fallen 40? I'm
It's
asking a lot of questions.
60, so you guys are all 60 feet up in the air, so it's a 60-foot distance from where you are back up to the hornet. We'll say 65 because it's hovering just a bit above Rincaz.
Okay, yeah. Triple Eldritch Blast at the stomach, please.
Alright.
Out of range of Sacred Flame is what I was trying to get at. First one.
Hell yeah.
There's a natural 20
Nice.
plus 10, 30 versus AC hit.
Shit. Oh. Shit. Take your good boy card and do your dual damage. As you, pointing up a hand, you feel your hand reverberate with arcane energy as you fire a large blast up towards it.
Yeah, while angry. So I get an extra damage die.
Yes, whatever your damage die is for, you roll that twice and add the modifier.
That would be a 15 force.
It would be 20, wouldn't it?
Oh, I just get one extra die and then I add 5.
Yeah, so it's 10 and 5 plus 5.
No, you don't get the modifier twice.
Yeah, it'd be, so you got 15, yeah.
Just double dice.
15.
What do you think this is, 4th edition?
Everyone watches as a blast coming from underneath all of you shoots up, leaves and branches being thrown off as this blast lands into the large hornet's abdomen. It is thrown up in the air a bit, flittering around unevenly.
Second one, 25 versus AC.
That hits.
Holy fuck.
Hell yeah.
For 14 force damage.
You watch as another one of its wings is blown off. It is flittering faintly now, almost crashing into the nearby branch close to you, Fa, and Rincaz.
Third one, because I'm level 11.
Hell yeah.
Oh no.
Ooh.
I'm gonna take one of these.
God damn it. It's feast or famine.
Yeah.
Feast and famine.
Unfortunately, your third shot goes a bit wide. You
Yeah, my
watch
arm
as it
got cut.
shifts past the large hornet into the trees next to it. Hey, thank you, Genghis John, for following. What else you got, Nvidi?
Well, if I'm able to move,
You feel like you are able to move. You just are probably going to take some piercing damage from doing so.
I've got 30 move speed.
This is difficult
naturally.
terrain without a doubt that you are in currently.
Yeah. So
I
can I
believe in
move 15 towards, I guess, a tree trunk or a vine or something that I can kind of stabilize myself on that's not as stabby?
The closest one is the one that is sort of like as you look back down south where you guys came from, so kind of back this way. So you can begin moving that way, yes. Go ahead and move 15 feet, and obviously everyone, you know that Nvidi's down on the ground. Also, Nvidi, each space that you move, you feel like you're going to take a bit of damage. So move 5 feet. Hang on just a second here. You take 4 points of piercing damage.
For
Next.
whatever it's worth, you still have that so far.
Yeah, thank you.
You move another 5 feet, Nvidi. You have to, like, the only way to move forward without getting your legs caught too much in the vine work is to grab the vines to help pull you through it. You feel it piercing your hands and your legs. You took 4 damage initially. Now you take, on the 10-foot move, you take 6 points of piercing damage. You see blood trickle from various parts of your arms and legs. You move the final 5 feet and take 2 points of piercing damage, for an overall total of 12.
Oh man, that's brutal. Is he still like all the way down, like 60 feet?
Yes.
Fuck.
So he's not on your mount, Aesop. He's just 60 feet down in the bramble.
Okay.
I'm one above my temporary hit point.
Oh,
threshold.
oh, boo-hoo!
Well, you've had a temporary.
So actually, you're not even bleeding, Nvidi. You just see this aura around you that is almost completely dissipated. Anything else, Amity?
God doesn't give you anything you can't handle. I'll
He's
pass
gonna
my turn.
he's gonna carry you the rest of the way in VD.
Glosse, you are up.
Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to use my Mantle of Inspiration now. And everybody who can see me and hear me gets 11 temporary hit points. And if they are able to, move their speed to me.
And VD, you can move 100% vertically, right?
That's all I was thinking is he flies up out of the thorns, gets dragged through them, falls back through them.
Fuck!
I would like
Am I able to use this?
Drug face first through knives.
Sun Kong only needs to hear this, right, Glosse?
Yep.
So
no,
yeah,
hold on, let me... Can he see me?
he
I
can
could.
see you. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, he can use it, whatever, it's fine. If he can see me and hear me, perfect.
You look through the flickering flames behind you, Sun Kong, to see Glosse on top of her squirrely mount.
And I want to try to use... I raise up my arm and I have this armor-looking apparatus. I like to think it kind of looks like platter at this point.
Nice.
And it's the item that I got. It's the Mizium
Yes.
apparatus. I'm going to expend a level 4 spell slot and make a saving throw. I want to try to use conjure elementals, minor elementals.
Oh my god.
But I have
Hell
I
yeah!
have to roll a 10 plus 8, so 18 Arcana check to see if I do that or a random spell. So I get to
Random
roll
spell.
for a random spell.
Ooh.
It's gonna be 1d4.
Fireball.
Oh.
2. So that number 2 on this is conjure minor elementals, all part of my plan.
I
That's
cast
awesome.
Power Word Death on Invidi.
Okay, so you summon elementals that appear in unoccupied spaces that you can see within range. You choose one of the following options for what appears. One elemental of challenge, rating 2 or lower. Two elementals of challenge rating 1 or lower. 4 elementals of challenge rating half or lower.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's half. Yeah.
I want to channel 1 elemental of challenge. Challenge rating 2 or lower.
Ooh.
And
Guys, with D&D Beyond, you can quickly, at a glance, look up every single elemental. Yes, that's right. It's true.
With the new features, you can set up an encounter, which would be 4, 2, or 1.
Actually, I'm not gonna lie. That new feature is fucking boss.
let's see. An elemental summoned by this spell disappears when it drops to 0 hit points. The summoned creature. So do I just get to choose?
Technically, Jason gets to choose.
Oh,
depending on
okay.
what
That's
would make
fun.
sense in a forest. Yeah.
How many are you
No.
summoning, and what's the CR?
1, and that's 2.
Hell yeah!
So one elemental that's CR 2 or below.
Yes.
Hell yeah!
It's an elemental of bees.
Not the bees! Not the bees! Let's see what elementals there are at rating 2. There's an Azure, which is a dude made out of fire. There's a gargoyle. There's another gargoyle.
Are you in the encounter builder?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, I'm gonna zoom over there too. You just punched in elemental.
So your options at challenge rating 2
Azure
are
looks-
Azure, which is a man that is on fire,
Yep.
or a gargoyle, which is a big flying stone creature.
Hang on just a second. I'm moving these, shifting around this challenge rating thing here.
Yeah, just to see.
You don't want the fire elemental? We need more fire on this planet of forest.
on just a second. Okay. Alright. Colossae. Holy fuck, there's a lot.
Oof.
Hang on. Roll me a d15, Glosse.
D15s.
Huzzah.
D15. 15, baby. Whatever that means.
Alright, hang on just
That
a
means you get to
second.
pick.
Harlot elemental.
Beer elemental. Beer elemental.
These are all fucking made of fire. What the
Jello elemental.
Mm.
Mixed with beer is Jello shot elemental.
Well, that's stupid looking. Hang
Let's
on.
get a fire one. Let's go. Let's get a fire elemental.
Hell yeah! Chaos!
Let's fire.
Summoning next to you is a small-looking smoke creature.
Oh.
Smoky, but there's a certain heat to it. Perhaps made of
Oh.
steam.
He's hot.
You notice in the cloud of steam there is a humanoid-like creature, though small in nature. It shifts around, its gangly limbs elongated, and it seems to have a elongated nose.
Okay. What? Can it talk? What are you? Hello?
Let's see here.
Stop, you stupid bitch!
Perfect.
It looks at you and goes,
Oh no.
I want to point to the wasp. Can I?
You can understand it, can't you?
No.
So, Glosse, when you do this and it's random, does this mean you control it, or it just has appeared here and has no idea who you are?
Well,
I think she controls it as long as she has
I would think
it
concentration.
came from my magical item, but it doesn't say. It just gives me the list of spells, and it doesn't go into detail about.
Oh, well, it's conjure minor elemental.
Yes.
So it would
that
still
I can-
follow her command, I'd assume.
Yeah. It's an
Summoning
elemental summon. Creatures are friendly to you and your companions. Roll initiative for the summoned creature as a group,
Thank you.
and then it gets its own turn.
There you go. Glosse, this is a... I don't know why that picture is broken. This is a... I'll let you decide what you want this thing to do. It seems to be able to understand you, just not speak in your language. This is a steam method.
Oh, in that case, there's 8 of them.
Oh. Glosse.
Yes.
Pushing through the steam are 8 of them.
Fucking
I
army.
would summon them, like by the wasp. I wouldn't summon them over here.
All I can think of is they don't control. You don't control them. They all attack Invadia again.
By the wasp that's next to Rincaz, right?
Well, there's Sun Kong.
What?
Sun Kong.
You want them next to Sun Kong?
Yeah.
Okay. Come on, babies.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Is there any range on this spell?
It is. I just read it.
It's a lot. It's 90 or 120.
Oh yeah, they're fucking all over this shit. Sun Kong, a bunch of steaming-looking, almost transparent, small creatures begin to just apparate out of nothing next to you.
This
Cool.
is hilarious. This is... What a fucking circus we have.
Put some flavor on them, Bailey. What do they look?
What was that?
Put some flavor on them. What do they look like, Bailey?
Okay, they are going to be like bright pink perfume-looking puffs.
Oh man, that's amazing.
You can go ahead and roll for them. I'm gonna say that you can
Roll
You can-
initiative?
You can control them. Yeah, you
Or
can
roll-
roll initiative for those babies.
Holy, for 8?
No, just
No,
roll for
really,
1.
roll as a group.
Yeah, just roll for 1.
You're not gonna take half of this turn.
Sorry, guys.
Do it.
Okay, so that's a 10.
So if you'll punch that in for those babies if you haven't already.
Holy shit. Death burst? I want to do that.
No, you don't.
Fuck
Not
this
right now, you
forest.
don't.
I can't. Okay, there's nothing for me to type in.
What's that?
You said punches.
Oh, here, sorry. I deleted one of them. I'm trying to make sure they have their HP and everything for you. You should be able to see it now.
Okay, great. They're going to... Well, do they attack on this turn, or do they have, like, summoning? How does...
They attack whenever they come up in the turn order.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're
Cool.
part of the
Yeah.
combat now.
Alright, neat.
What was their initiative?
10.
Alright. Solid 10. They are put into the initiative. Classe.
You guys are faster than Rincaz.
Classe. You watch as a just group of steam mephits appear next to the hornets. Ready to attack.
Yes!
Anything else?
Done. Nope.
Alright. Fa!
So Nvidi is still down in the
Down in the
brambles.
bramble. That's it.
Is he making his way towards something that he can climb?
He looks to be about 35 feet north of a tree trunk that goes 60 feet in the air.
Nvidi, do you know how to climb?
Yes, but I'm not the best at it.
Okay, and then she reaches into her pocket and throws a push climbing at you.
Nvidi, make a what's a catch check?
Dex.
Acrobatics?
Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand.
Sleight of
Give
hand,
me
maybe?
that's a good one. That's a good one. Give me a sleight of hand check, Nvidi.
All right.
You see swirling through the air.
It was
I'll
expected. Drop it.
I'll burn an advantage on this one since I didn't by not getting knocked off my mount and put down here to begin.
Oh, that's a skill check. Probably better with advantage.
I want the advantage.
Yeah. Whoa.
21.
Oh, you throw your palms out and catch it in your hand.
Nice.
Damn it. Nice.
Alright, is that so you calling that an action or a bonus action?
No, that's like a quickly throw, pull a lever type of shit. That's not an action.
Okay, cool. Have a plan if that. I will. I'll try and solve this, I guess. It has to make a DC 16 Wisdom save. As I
Okay.
look deep into it.
It fails.
It fails, and it takes 3d8. Bam! 9 psychic damage.
Oh,
Second.
what does it look like, Fa, as you kill it?
Nice.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
God.
I look at it, and then you guys hear like this ringing sound, and it starts like leaking from all of its pores.
Oh no!
You hear the shifting of branches and foliage as the giant hornet falls through, descending quickly down. And Vidi, as you look down from catching this potion, you now hear the sound of something shifting up above, and as you look back up towards the bramble in front of you, you see the large body of this dead giant hornet just smash into the bramble a couple feet away from you.
And I'm going to use my... Nope, that's a different character. Go ahead.
All right. With that, let's see here. Oof.
Oh no.
These critters, Glacé, I'm gonna let you control these things if you'd like. Your methods, you want to?
Yeah.
Make an attack of opportunity. These things, these little greenish-like critters are trying to get the fuck out of here.
I critically failed.
One of them clearly misses, and one of the it's able to stab one of its thorns into it for 5 damage.
Okay.
As it begins to run, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20. Let's see how far these little babies can move. Oh, cute. 20. And it's going to expend its movement, or its action rather. Run here. Crawling out, hidden from behind the bramble, or not the bramble, but the tree north is another one. Sun Kong, it crawls up. You see its mouth open as it shoots one of what looks like some type of dart out of its mouth. You assume maybe it's like a thorn or something. Glacé, it shoots towards the steam method that's close to it and critically misses. You watch as it loses its grip and falls.
Hell.
Bye.
That thing is just gone. The one down in the flames, does it continue to take damage if... Well, that's not part of your firebomb, is it, Aesop?
No, it's just like a one and done kind of thing.
Alright. But
I
the
guess
flames are
there's
licking
fire
up.
there.
Yeah, because this is such a forested area, the flames are beginning to lick the area up. It does take damage. You hear its chittering as it quickly tries to begin to move away. Sun Kong, it crawls here and attempts to jump across to the other side. Do you want to make an attack?
Yeah, I do.
Alright. Make a attack of opportunity. That's gonna hit.
Hell yeah.
Just stick your rod out and he jumps into it and falls straight down.
Since I made a melee attack that hit, I will also expend a key point to do stunning fist. It has to make a DC 15. Is it wisdom?
I think so.
Yeah, I believe it's
No.
wisdom.
It's a
Is it
Constitution.
Constitution. 15 Constitution save.
I don't know. You have the character sheet. I don't.
No, it is. Yeah, it's a Constitution.
Okay.
Sun Kong, you watch as it runs next to you and you see it ready to launch. You grab it by the arm, sling it your way in the air, and just smack its chest with your palm. You see a reverberation across its body, and you just watch as it falls.
Nice. Bye-bye.
Nice.
You watch as the one adjacent to it, watching it fall, looks up with a worried look on its face and begins to quickly shift out of the way.
You want some too?
Glacé, you can make an attack of opportunity with one of your steam methods if you like.
Come on, little baby.
We'll say one of the other ones adjacent to it is trying to attack. Actually, that'd
Yeah,
be
Huh?
2.
I got some too.
Oh yes. So the first little baby rolls 14. I rolled a 14.
Plus 2 to hit on claws with it.
Yes. Okay. Claws, melee weapon attack, plus 2 to hit. Yes, 16.
That hits.
Thank you, Nick. Cool. Then in that case, it's gonna be 1d4 plus 2.
It's 1d4 slashing plus 1d4 fire.
Okay, yep, thank you. So I will go ahead and roll that. So 3 slashing and 3 fire for the first one. Second one's going to be 21 to hit.
That hits.
1 slashing and 1 fire.
You see fire lick across its body from two of the steam methods, turning and raking their claws, their wispy claws across its body. It cries out as it continues to quickly shift away.
Good, you're a naughty baby.
Moves up here. Glasse, you and Fa are watching this happen. Out of the periphery of your vision, you see 2 more pop their heads up from north above you.
Bad idea. You're gonna have a bad time if you come over here.
Okay.
They... Let's see... Hang on just a second. One of them spits at you, Fa,
Gross. Rude.
Dick.
for a natty 20.
Ugh.
First off, Fa,
Oh no. Oh no.
you take 9 points of piercing damage as it catches you right in the... I don't know. Roll a d6 for me, please. I believe it's a d6. Let me confirm that.
Right, my d6.
Yeah, it should be a 6.
Your most
Head, torso, and then
Yeah.
left arm, left leg, right
You're
leg.
about to learn a new homebrew rule, Kyle.
Oh, I don't like this. I guess I'm aiming for the middle and not the extremity 1 or 6. Oh,
You take a left leg injury as the dart or thorn fired from its mouth lands in a very bad spot. You have disadvantage on ability checks using your left leg. You have suffered 1 injury level.
It's fine.
shit.
It's fine.
Ow.
Blood pulls from the sharp point to where it entered your leg, and it stings very badly. The other one fires one at you, Glasse, and misses wildly.
You gotta get that looked at. Got bit by a squirrel and now this. Aw.
Trying
They begin
find
to
the
retreat. All right, Aesop, you're up.
Okay. I think it's really important to get NVIDIA out of this mess. So I have something I want to try.
Okay.
I'm going to have Sir Reginald climb 30 feet down from the branch. I'm guessing there's like some sort of trunk that it can grasp onto to get closer to NVIDIA.
Reginald moves back, so where NVIDIA is essentially the exact same spot you are, just 60 feet down below.
Yeah.
So, let me do the math here. 35 feet back across the branch is the main trunk that leads down. It's a long way up for any branches to sprout, so you get the sense that, yes, helping out NVIDIA will certainly be helpful.
All right. I have a question. Do I think I know how long this chameleon's tongue is?
You have seen it shoot it out quite a few times before. Let me check something really quickly. Let's take a look here.
So glad I got this chameleon.
You've seen it enough times over this hours-long journey to know that it's got about a 25-foot reach.
Okay. How close can I get to NVIDIA with, like, a dash or something like that on the chameleon? Without causing him to careen down into the...
Let's take a look here.
It's a little unclear on the map, so just let me know, and I'll tell you what I want to do.
It moves as you direct it and has only 3 action options: dash, disengage, and dodge. So you could still direct the mount and have it expend its action to continue moving. You know by now, having ridden on it, that it has a climb feet of 30, so that's up to 60. So just keep this in mind. 35 feet to get back to the trunk of the tree, and then 60 feet down.
Okay.
Or because of the tongue, it could get within range to try and...
That's what my goal is. I want to try to get in range and then, like, I don't know, use an animal handling or something.
And Viti would need to move like 10 more feet towards you.
Okay.
But you could still stay high enough out of the bramble against the tree and attempt to shoot the tongue.
I move the chameleon there, and I get Osru ready to command this chameleon to grab Nvidi with his tongue.
So as you command the chameleon to begin crawling down towards the bramble, at a certain point the chameleon gives some hesitation, some resistance. Give me an animal handling check to continue pushing forward to the distance that you wanted to go down.
That is going to be a...
And you have advantage because of Azru.
Yes, 14.
With a 14, you're able to coax it and kind of give it the kick at the side, and it pushes forward a little bit so that you're 25 feet above the ground on the trunk of the tree. Nvidi looks like he could be grabbed by this 25-foot tongue if only he moved 10 feet closer.
Oh!
Okay, Nvidi, can I make a held action to, like, skewer him with the tongue, I guess, if he gets closer?
Sure.
All right, Reginald, get ready. Our friend is coming, and we're going to rescue him.
The horned chameleon looks back at you, its eyes darting all around, and it looks forward, focusing on Nvidi, who's pushing forward.
All right, that's my turn, I suppose.
You hear Azru whispering something in a hoarse language, kind of rubbing the side of the chameleon. All right, Glace, what are your 40 fucking steam methods doing?
They're going... they're going to do a...
You guys now see flames beginning to pierce through the insides of the hornet's nest and grow larger.
They're all gonna do steam breath.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. For them, this wasp is going to have to make a DC 10 dexterity saving throw.
The wasp is?
Yes.
It's got to fail some of them statistically.
Alright, let me scroll back over.
Shut up.
Boiled alive.
You want me to roll that what? How many times?
4, please.
The first one is a success.
Mhm.
Second one fails.
Mhm.
Third one is a success.
Mhm.
And the fourth one fails. Almost a crit fail.
Taking 1d8 fire damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one.
Whoa, half damage?
Hell yeah.
Oh!
Holy shit.
That's gonna be 1, 2, 3. Well,
3d8
2.
and a 4.
Yeah, 2d8. Okay, 4
Sunkong,
fire damage.
You watch as the steam methods reel back and blow out fire out of their mouths.
6
Hell
total
yeah.
fire damage. Wow.
Not fire, but steam that seems to sizzle against the body of the creatures. How much was that, Glace?
6 total fire damage.
Is that the top one or the bottom one that you're wanting to do this to?
It's this one.
Okay, so 6 damage against this guy. Was that all together?
That was just for those 4. Yes, that was total.
Okay, just making sure. Alright, cool. You watch as they all, in succession, breathe this steaming, just cloud of steam against the hornet. You can almost feel the heat from here, Sunkong.
And the other 4, they're gonna do some claw attacks on the bottom one. I'll roll for them. So 12, 11, 13, and 11.
This is versus AC.
Yeah.
12 misses, 11 misses, 13
Ow. Yeah, 13.
misses.
Okay, none of them hit.
What was the final one?
Not enough. It was like
Okay.
11 or
Okay.
Yeah.
You watch as their claws get pretty close, but aren't able to connect with the erratic nature of the larger hornet here. It seems to be shifting erratically as it sees the nest behind it beginning to go up in flames. Anything else from the steam methods?
They cannot do anything else.
Okay. Rincaz.
Ooh. Well. How far of a jump is that? Is that a 5 foot? If I'm seeing that.
It's like a 10-foot jump. I'll need you to make a dexterity acrobatics check to successfully make it across. It is precarious because the branches look a little smaller than the one that you came on a few feet back, but you feel like you could probably make it?
I have faith in myself. Famous last words. But I get a high acrobatics, so
Alright.
I'm gonna run it. Let me get the complete distance to make sure I'm doing this right. I'm gonna want to end up in that space right there. Just, vertical movement.
Okay.
So I can.
We'll say you take a
Yeah,
couple
I should-
steps back and begin to run that way.
I should be able to shoot through that fire. Yes.
If you're landing where you have your pointer,
Yes.
if you land right there, you're still going to have to push through the fire, so you would take some damage.
To be able to shoot through there. Crap.
Oh, you can shoot through there. I'm sorry. I thought you
Okay.
meant, like, push through, like, with your physical body. No, you can shoot through the fire. The flames are licking up around that area, but they're not obstructing your vision.
Okay, gotcha.
If anything, you can actually see the fires sort of meeting the charred ends of bark and tree bits, and it actually seems to be dissipating a bit. Looks like there wasn't enough area of this firebomb to actually continue catching things on fire. The
Alright.
hornet's nest may be a different story.
I'm going to land there, because I guess I would be the landing point, and then just move over to there.
All right.
Oh,
You attempt to jump across. Let me see that acrobatics check.
What? That's not bad though. It's above 10. It's pretty good.
I thought with +9, I'd maybe at least get the 15 that's needed. What?
12?
Yeah, 12 total.
You don't have any climbing speed?
I have a potion of climbing. My climbing speed's normal, if I'm correct.
You begin to descend as your hands go to clasp on the other end. Your claws meet, but the full force of your body didn't make it far enough. You feel your fingernails digging through the edge of the branch as you quickly begin to descend.
Indomitable?
What does that do for you?
Reroll a saving throw? I guess it's a skill check, so no.
That's a skill check, unfortunately. So you are about right here, but you begin to descend. We'll put the comment marker on you.
Then can
What's
I
that,
send him a
immediate?
good boy card or any time for the following benefit?
What's the good boy card do?
1d8 after making a skill or attack roll.
I've allowed it in the past, so I'll allow it here.
Lizard God.
Hell yeah.
Alright. Who rolls it, you or me?
You do, buddy. You're the one who's about to fall.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
You look down, seeing the 60-foot drop. You nearly single-handedly took down one of these hornets, and you do not want to fall down to the bottom layer to leave your friends up here fending them by themselves. Your grip is about to end and you are about to fall off the tree, but you throw your other claw up, digging into the bark, and pull yourself up onto the edge. You did not fall and you're able to continue moving.
My famous, my final words were going to be, I hate the jungle as I descend in, but I put my other claw up and say, as the prophecy for it.
Oh.
Hey, we've gone through turn order. Like, Blase, you've had 2 moves, right?
Oh no,
I
that was because my Steam babies. That wasn't me. I had. Wait, you mean altogether? I had 2 moves.
Yeah, I didn't get my second turn, Jason.
Oh, I'm sorry. After Rincaz will jump to you.
I will use the rest of my movement just to stabilize myself.
Yeah,
There.
with that saving throw, you're able to actually make it across. The flavor is you pulling yourself up, but it doesn't affect your moving speed.
Let's see. Perfect. I'm going to
You see a lot of fire up ahead.
pull up my revolver and take a shot at. Fantastic.
Oh no.
It jams, I guess.
It jams, and I'm gonna be taking a bad boy card.
This is going great.
I look and I yell, moisture, heat, fucking jungle, ah! And I just scream.
Anything else, Rincaz, as you hear the sound of your gun jamming?
Well, I think that's a big no. There's nothing else I can do.
All right. Sorry, Sun Kong. I got thrown off by 400 Steam methods. You're up, my friend.
Alright. I'm gonna attack this boy.
All right.
With my quarterstaff. 19 to hit.
That hits.
I will use a key point to activate Stunning Fist. Make a 15 con save.
Fuck him up.
It 15 overall.
Yeah, 15.
It
Just failed.
Hell yeah. It's stunned.
you pound your fist into it, stunning it.
And just remind me again, that means all my hits no, that's not stunned, right? All my hits are critical? Or is that
No,
stunned?
that's paralyzed.
Paralyzed. Alright, cool.
Stunned is
Advantage.
But I have advantage, yeah. Okay. So in that case, I will also activate Flurry of Blows for another key point. So that's 5. And so now I get an extra bonus attack for each attack. So I get... So the first one hits. Second one... hits. Third attack... Probably... Oh, but I get advantage. So... 18 hits, right? Yeah. So those damage. 5, 11, 9, so 28 for the first round of attacks. Well, actually, hold on.
Jesus Christ.
Because of my level in fighter, I get to use great weapon fighting and re-roll the 2 damage. So that is actually gonna be a... So, 12. So it was 32 for the first round of attacks. Second round of attacks.
Jiminy Christmas.
I have advantage, so the first attack is a 21, that hits. 22 hits. And 26. I guess I should roll those advantages to see if I get 20s.
You should.
Yeah. Alright, no 20s, but I still hit. And so then damage. So I did 32. 32. That's 41. 51. Does 60 damage.
Christ almighty.
That'll be my turn. Oh, wait until I get an action surge. That's gonna. I'm taking that.
Oh my Christ! Oh fuck! It's gonna
Wait
be
until-
tonight. Is gonna be your turn.
Luke, build him a macro.
I was just gonna say that if you build a macro, it's gonna look like a daily report from the Dow Jones.
So yeah, that's my attack. 60 damage on this bad boy, and he's stunned till the end of my next turn. Daddy, are you still there?
Asleep.
Hello,
Daddy,
can you hear
we
me?
can't hear you.
Oh, that was weird. Can you guys hear me now?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I did so much damage.
Hello?
I literally killed
There
Jason.
you go.
Can you hear me now? Okay. That was weird. My shit was muted for some reason.
Yeah.
All the
So I
cussing you were doing.
Probably, yeah. Hopefully it wasn't muted the whole stream. I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
No, oh god.
We're just making up stuff.
But yeah, 60 on this guy, and he's still
You-
stunned till the
using-
end of my next turn.
Using your magic empowered fist, you grip your quarterstaff and you do that thing where you like lightning fast hit it in a whole bunch of spots. There's a second or two wait, and you just watch as giant dents and pockmarks just litter the massive hornet. You see it nearly topple over as just whole parts of its body are blasted away. It is also stunned. Let's see, 5e stun. What the fuck is stun do? Let's take a
I
look.
pasted it in chat. It's
Yep.
incapacitated, can't move, can't speak, only falteringly. Creatures automatically fail strength and dex saves, and attack rolls against creature have advantage.
I can still attack though. The hornet and
It's incapacitated. That means it can't.
oh, I see. I
Can't
see.
take actions or reactions.
It lays there helplessly as the other hornet makes an intelligence check.
Is it smart enough to be afraid?
Fails it and climbs on top of the incapacitated.
It is. Oh boy! It is surrounded by steam efforts though.
Do it, Jason.
Do it. Move.
Do it.
Dare you.
It flies up 10 feet. All four of the steam methods get to make opportunity attacks against it.
Roll them bones.
Roll.
Actually, three of them have
What?
made opportunity attacks already against the green
Oh.
creatures getting away.
So take
But
the
I'll-
first one though.
I'll
17.
take the first one, and that hits.
Hell yeah.
Cool. All right. It's gonna be. That's one slashing and two fire.
Better than nothing.
Hey,
Yeah.
every bit
Hell
counts
yeah.
as you
Yeah.
strike into it. Let's see here. All right.
Hell yeah.
You catch it a little bit with one of your steam methods. It flies up out of their range over to the other side and lowers itself so that it's 5 feet above you, Sun Kong, adjacent to both you and the steam method next to the one that is stunned. It
Can't get away that easy.
attempts to throw its abdomen into you, Sun Kong,
Bring it.
for 14 versus AC.
Nope.
It takes its stinger and attempts to stab at you for 16 versus AC.
Nope.
You deftly throw up a magic infused palm, just catching the stinger at the side and pushing it away. Let me see how far it can fly. Actually, no, it's going to stay there. That's its home. And Vidi, you're up, buddy.
Okay.
Come on, come to me, VD. Come to me.
I want to secure the potion of climbing in my pack or whatever, you know.
Sure, you kind of pull your cloak to the side and stick it on one of the loops of your belt.
And I want to climb towards where Aesop is directing.
Who's a good boy?
You need to move 10 feet forward so that the tongue from the giant chameleon can reach you.
You accidentally already moved him with us on the chameleon.
That's okay. He's just foreshadowing what's about to happen.
So you move 5 feet forward, you take 1 point of piercing damage. You move 5 more feet and take 2 points of piercing damage for 3 total. A slap from the side as Azru uses his fur-covered, just thick palm to kind of slap at the side of the large chameleon. It opens its mouth and launching out is a huge tongue.
Yes!
It wraps around you, Nvd. Make an acrobatics check as it begins to reel back in towards you and those of you on the mount.
Whee!
Acrobatics.
Consume you.
Yeah, acrobatics.
Actually, I'm sorry, a dexterity saving throw.
Dex save so it doesn't snap my neck. Good call. It's both +2.
Yes, good Reginald. Now Munch, eat him. No, I didn't say that. I mean, it was in character, but I didn't say that.
13 dex saving throw.
The tongue pulls you, but because of your weight, there's a bit of suspension and you feel yourself being poured. There's 25 feet up on the large trunk of the tree is where Aesop is attached to the mount. The tongue pulls you up about 10 feet, but that is when you begin to sort of swing straight towards the tree trunk. But you throw your 2 feet out and catch yourself against it. And almost like a rappelling rope or like a rock climbing rope, you use the tongue and just like work your way back up along with the help of the chameleon pulling you in. Aesop, you're able to, along with Azru, grip him by the shoulders and pull him on top of your mount.
You're safe. You're safe, big boy. Get on.
Thank you.
It's the entire scene from Star Wars where he hops on the lizard and Padme and Anakin run it off. Now kiss him on the cheek, Nvd.
This might be the most comical combat we've had in a while. Like visually, like there's some funny shit that's happened.
Nvd. Oh, go ahead, Kyle.
I was gonna say, there's just one funny shit happening. It's these Steam methods. That's about it.
You are happy to be out of that pile of bramble below, Nvd. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Am I allowed to have an attack action or bonus action?
You have just moved. You haven't used your action, so you're welcome to.
Okay, as a flavor bonus action, can I offer the chameleon a little bit of feed?
Sure.
Pulling me up.
Flavor.
And yes.
Before it kind of fully lets loose around your torso with its tongue, you just like grab a fistful and just pack it on the side of its sticky tongue, and it sticks to it. It lets go of your body and pulls quickly back into its mouth. You hear the sound of it moving its mouth as it chews.
I want to nod at Aesop and Azru and thank them, and then turn to this buzzy boy and unleash 3 Eldritch Blasts.
Hell yeah.
What's the range of your Eldritch Blast? 120. Oh, that'll hit, yeah.
Where is the ruler?
It's
So
45.
it's 45 feet, but you guys are also like about 25, 30 feet down on the tree. So, but overall, 120 is still gonna hit easily.
First one. 25 versus AC.
All right, I am going to use my bad boy card and make you re-roll that attack.
Bad boy.
24 versus AC.
Fuck me.
Holy shit.
That's gonna
Take
hit.
that one. 15 force damage.
Hell
All right.
yeah.
Second one. 18 versus AC.
That's gonna hit too.
14 force damage.
All right.
Third one. 22 versus AC.
A volley of 3 Eldritch Blasts leave Nvidi's palms as soon as he is secured on the mount with you, Aesop. They all land successfully, smashing into the Hornet next to Sun Kong.
Hell yes.
8 force damage on that last one.
They connect, and you see one of the legs of the Hornet blown off as it reels back, moving erratically, seeing its nest on fire. Anything else?
That's all I can do. Thank you.
All right, we roll back up to the top. Glace.
Oh, fuck. I will. I'll go ahead and use Frenzy Bolt on this. Sorry. Yeah, on the first wasp over here.
All right.
And oh please, sorry everyone, I'm that guy.
Which one?
The one that makes everyone wait, and I had the entire time to look at the spell. So I'm gonna roll for that. Yeah. Does a 21 hit?
Yes.
Cool. That was a 12 that I rolled, so it's gonna be a roll self, not adjust the result. Ah! Okay, so it's not gonna bounce. It's gonna be random damage. And it is not telling me the damage. 3d8 damage of random type.
It is necrotic.
Nasty. So it's gonna be 9 necrotic damage. Shoot. And BD save. Does anybody need any heals?
Not yet.
Good.
I'm done.
Scrape my knee.
Fa, you're up.
Hiya! At that one, I'm gonna throw a quote-unquote grenade
Yes.
that explodes for... Well, make a spell attack first. This is a chromatic orb reflavored.
All right.
D20 plus 8. Oh, just 10. Hit it.
It goes just a bit wide, and the shifting, colorful ball that you shoot out in this orb-like form launches past the Hornet.
Shoot. I literally nothing else. So done.
All right.
Actually, should we start moving here a little bit?
Yes, please.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Whee!
6. I can't pick you up yet.
All right. Anything else, Fa?
No.
I can pick you up.
Giant ants clitter around. Let's see. The little bramble-looking creatures that were shifting, moving away from you guys now turn to see you a bit closer, and they look at you, and the one a little north of the first one critically misses and nearly trips off of the edge, but lands into the ant, and the ant bites into its side. It reels back in what sounds like pain. The other one fires at you, Glacé, for... Oh, that's gonna hit.
Yes.
That's gonna hit. Let's see here. That's gonna be 8 points of piercing damage. Your Glymera stops up here, Fa, and you still feel the slight tinge of pain in your leg from your injury. Let's see here.
Oh, dang it, that was the branch that I jumped from.
Well, these guys are going to continue to... Well, that one's not going to escape. Actually, he is, because he's engaged with this one. So he's going to run off. He jumps into the bramble. Or the nearby shrubbery.
These things aren't wearing like any gear, right? They're just little weed things.
Yes, they look like just completely made of... Almost like the thorns around you, just in tiny little humanoid form. They don't even really seem to be wearing any type of clothing or anything.
Burn killed them all.
Aesop, you're up.
Okay, now that Nvidi is freshly in tow, I'm gonna move. Oh, sorry, Nvidi. I guess you fell back down.
So just keep in mind, it'll take you 25 feet to get back up,
Oh shit.
and then 15 to move to where you are.
And how much movement does the chameleon have total?
The chameleon can move with its climb speed 30 feet.
Okay, so I'm gonna move here then, and I don't have any additional movement after that as just a regular old Joe Schmo, right?
It can... The chameleon can use its action to dash, so...
Oh, okay, but it doesn't take my action.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, fuck yeah. Dash is here.
Yes. It
And
quickly scampers up back to the top where everyone else is at the same elevation and then scampers over to that side.
okay, everyone, I've learned my lesson. No fire. You see Aesop drop a couple droplets in one of his bombs, shake it up, and it starts scintillating with red electricity, and he throws it at this wasp.
Alright.
Lightning bomb. It's gonna be a 13 to hit.
Lightning bomb.
Let's see. 13.
Just misses.
No! It careens down into the forest below, and there's an explosion of lightning.
You hear the crackle of electricity down below.
Well, I've done everything I can, everyone. I'm done.
Alright, Sung Kong.
Alright.
You're getting gangbanged by 2 hornets.
Well, this one's still stunned, so let's hit it again.
You're about to gangbang 1 hornet. You and this pack of 30 steam methods over here. Get that on rec.
Oh, it's on rec.
17 hits, right?
Yes.
It's gonna be
Another
a hot
stunning-
TV episode.
Another stunning fist.
Get wrecked.
Tell me the damage you do each attack.
Make another con save, so that way it stays stunned next turn too. I'm doing another stunning fist.
It rolls a really low roll and fails.
Sweet. Alright, so it's stunned again to my next turn. And so let's see.
You guys from your mounts just look over and see a hornet sort of quivering around on its back on the branch as Sun Kong and just a host of
Ooh,
steam methods encircle around it.
So all my attacks hit. Oh, and by the way, I'm using Flurry of Blow.
Okay.
Take off another key point. So I've used 7. So the first damage is 11. 20. 29 for the first round of attacks.
you all watch from a distance as just what looks like bug viscera just is launched into the air as Sun Kong just lands a volley of quarterstaff attacks into it.
Oh
It
my.
is dead.
Fuck you. And so for my second round of attacks, is this guy in range or is he above me?
He's above you, but he's like only 5 feet above you, so he's still adjacent to you. He's just adjacent up instead of by your side.
So I will attack him next. See if I hit. 25 hits, so I will also use a stunning fist on him. Make a 15 con save.
It's gonna try. It's gonna fail.
Alright, it's stunned to the end of my next turn. So,
Okay, so-
now
It is stunned, but there is a branch underneath it, so it
Okay,
does.
that's fine.
It falls onto its back, but not down to the forest bottom.
And I've already activated Flurry of Blows, so my next 2 attacks will have advantage. Let's see. That. So,
The fire near here dissipates. The fire near here grows.
those all hit, so this one gets 12, 25. Let me re-roll the 1, just a second.
Oh god. Oh, you gotta get the macro for this, man. There is a reroll macro for.
I don't
for
know how to
ones
make
and
those
twos.
things, sorry.
Just Google it. You Google it.
So 35 damage on this one, and done.
You smash into it with a volley of attacks, dealing a huge amount of damage. It is barely moving. Its wings barely fluttering underneath it. You're done,
It's
Sun
winging
Kong?
Yeah, that's my turn.
It is the 40 Steam Methods turns.
So,
Thank God we get to a quick turn.
they're gonna move 30 feet here. This one's gonna move 30 feet here.
Ooh.
The same with everyone else. They're gonna move their full 30 feet. This one is going to take a swipe at the swath boy.
They could, just keep in mind, as the 4 there pass by, they could all each take a swipe at it.
Really? Oh, you're
Yeah.
right. Yes. So the first one is a miss. Second one's a critical fail. Third one is a miss.
God damn it.
Hey, the last one is an unnatural 20.
That's gonna hit.
So the wasp is going to take.
One of them smashes into one of the nearby branches, trying to shift away per your order with that natty 1.
2 slashing and 3 fire.
Alright.
And can I expend actions on these things, or is that how is this just like a cut and dry kind of thing? Like you move. Like I can't move twice with it.
I mean, they're creatures. All creatures can take dash actions. If that's
Mhm.
20, 25, 30, 25, 30. I'm done. Or they're done.
Rincaz, you're up.
Oh. I'm gonna use a grip point just to unjam my gun.
Alright.
Whatever the hell that action. What's it called? Rapid repair. There you go. That's my. That's a bonus action. I'm going to take a few shots at the one right here.
Gotcha.
Please don't be another one. Okay, 28.
Alright, that's
advantage.
gonna hit.
Good stuff.
For 15.
What's it look like when you take this one out?
Woohoo!
right across the back, taking the last of its wings as it slowly descends into the thorny hell that Nvidia almost died.
Actually, I'm just only slightly injured from the hell I fell into. I didn't actually die.
We have so many fucking sources of temporary hit points. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty fucking cool.
I almost want to take a shot at one of the ants, but I don't want to piss them off. I feel like they're food for our buddy over here.
Do you all remember that time where we could have just snuck by a giant hornet's nest and instead we all elected to burn the shit out of them?
Well, it
was
was
it?
that little twig thing's fault. It wasn't.
It was the twig thing's fault. It wasn't our fault.
Oh
We
yeah!
tried.
Fuck those things! Where are those things? There they are! Kill them! They're up here! Kill them!
So to answer your question, no.
You see them running
Don't
off.
get smart with me.
I like that the first action was, oh look, it's a foreign creature that pissed off a giant wasp. I throw a firebomb at it, completely nuking it and half the forest.
Look. I stand by my actions, alright?
I do
all
think
for
we
it.
should. I do think we should probably get away from the giant, flaming, burning wasp's nest.
Says the man standing closest to it.
Take a shot at the wasp nest just for the hell of it.
'Cause, I mean, that thing's gonna fall eventually.
Oh, maybe we should put it out.
You hear the slight snapping of wood, Sun Kong.
Uh-oh.
Let's get moving.
Make a as you speed your way over back to your mount. Make me a acrobatics check to jump across the
Sure.
gap there.
Inspiration.
Oh,
Oh god! Fuck!
I have a
Oh my
plus
God.
13 acrobatics. Come on.
Yeah, you're fine. You do a flip through the air as you come across.
Alright, I don't know, Glossy, can you just so not to anger another nest of vicious insects, but can you have those little methods take care of the ants so we can move along that way? Because I would prefer if we didn't move along the branch that was currently on fire.
Team boys, attack!
Oh god.
The steam methods move in and begin attacking the ants. Glossy and Sylvan, you hear Fraxinus say, and she points down at the treetop megatherium. There's another way if you want it.
Oh, honey, yes! What
Oh.
other way?
Why did you not say this before we fought the giant wasp?
Sure off the mount.
I assumed all of you knew, she says. And Sylvan.
Honey. What? No, what? Tell us. We don't come from this place.
One of your steam methods kills one of them,
Mm.
but the rest of them stop.
What?
The treetop megatherium slowly
Oh, it was in front of us the entire time.
shifts over.
And all we had to do was walk across the branch while Mr. Hugs continued to lead us. Instead, we had to fuck
Slowly
with the
shifts
wasp.
over. You see its
Look.
tongue shift out from its mouth and wrap around one of the giant ants and eat it. You hear a crunching sound and you see drool dripping from its mouth.
Maybe the real wasps were the friends we made along the way.
Jason, they last for an hour. What are you doing? Give them back.
That's not me.
Who's...
They're moving on their own, Glossy. They have autonomy, you know.
They have
My steam
sentient.
methods are moving on their own.
Lasse has backup dancers.
Do I have to
Methods are
make a
coming
check
from
to
in the
get that?
house.
Holy shit.
Rincaz,
Someone-
make a acrobatics check to jump across and get back on one of your mounts somewhere. And Vidi, you can shift across the treetop branches to get back to the megatherium.
Is that one too short again?
Yes, you'll need to jump across.
I'd like to. Once Rincaz is on board, I'd like to take the lead again.
Alright. The 14?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
All right. So Jason, I'm just jumping across here. It was like from here to here.
Yes, this is a potential way. You could either jump across here, or you could attempt to jump through the infinity vines that are here, but it'd be a little difficult.
Well, I'm gonna do the one that isn't all prickly.
All right. Give me a... You are on your mount. Give me an animal handling check.
Azura, I'm so glad I hired you.
Mm.
Hiya! 17.
You definitely make it across. A whip of the chameleon's tongue launches forth, grabbing onto the branches, and slings you across.
I'm sorry, I was laughing at all the nonsense that was happening.
Bailey's fucking it up. Do it.
No one's ever allowed to cast Conjure Minor Elementals ever again. It's outlawed.
Bailey!
Indeed, the treetop megatherium finishes slowly crunching on the last few ants that are here. He's happy now. You hear her say in Sylvan with your comprehend languages helm.
Oh, he's got a full tummy.
Mr. Hugs is the best. I'd hug you, Mr. Hugs, but I'm not allowed.
Wait, why is he called Mr. Hug?
Because you're not supposed to
So-
hug him.
Remind me not to let him hug me.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Alright. Sun Kong,
Yeah.
actually, you guys can glide across.
I thought so.
Oh, what? Rincaz, technically you're over here
Oh.
with me. It's just I can't move you.
Should we put this fire out so nobody knows, we're coming and stuff?
Oh.
You look over Glosse, and at this point you all hear the snapping of wood, and watch as the giant nest begins to plummet down.
Oops.
You hear the shifting sound of the bramble below as the fiery nest lands on top of the carcasses of what was left of the hornets down below. The pluming smoke still shifting up through the air.
You know, I'm starting to realize that I'm an accomplice for every crime that anyone commits with these firebombs. It's making me nervous.
You gave it to us.
I
mean,
did
it's-
and will continue to, but that's beside the point.
It's not like there's any sort of DNA at the crime scene.
Hi.
Gloss,
The
and
irony
Fa,
of that notion just taking hold of the cured Aesop is
Oh,
so
fuck.
fucking funny to me.
It burned down anything, it's just covered in my blood.
Ooh, I don't like this. With great power comes great responsibility. Get this little perfumey fuck off of your regiment.
Aesop, you watch as Gloss and Fa glide over, pulling themselves up the branch, and you see their Glymera occasionally snapping towards one of the steam methods, trying to bite it.
No.
No! You stop that, they're nice.
And Vidi? Your last one,
Uh,
bud. How do you want to approach this?
How? Can I make some sort of check to see how treetop megatherium would cross a gap of trees?
Sure, make a nature or some other sensible check.
12 nature.
You get the sense that although there is a lot of thorny infinity vines here, it almost kind of makes a netting that would be a little easier to cross for something as slow as your treetop megatherium.
Can I point it in the direction of everybody else?
Yes.
See
You
if it'll
you
fall.
also know that not only do you obviously have the saddle, but it also has the barding on it too to help protect it from being poked. So as it begins to crawl that way over here through the sort of netting of infinity vines, I still need you to make me a animal handling check to try and lead it across without too much trouble.
Animal handling check. You got a 0.
Two pinkish steam methods shift around you.
It'll be a 14 animal handling.
Okay. You are able to move it across. You watch as the Megatherium moves slowly, watching where its paws move as to not try to agitate too much by pushing into the thorns. Finally, towards the end, you see for the first time you've ever seen it do, it hops from one end of a branch to the other, grasping its thick claws into the side of the area here, and you're able to fully make it over on the other side.
I must have needed to eat.
And with that, you guys are able to continue pushing up north.
Oh.
Huzzah!
Before we settle in for a rest or anything, do we see any sign of this scrap peak?
Yeah.
Give me a check.
Do I
I
get
will
any
s-
bonus?
You can do a perception check. You are still in the thick of the tangled timber here, so it will be a disadvantage to try and see past all the trees.
Do I get any sort of bonus if I fly up or try to fly up above the tree line?
Oh, Aesop, if you'd like, you popping off of the mount, take flight. It takes you, as you ascend, probably like another 40 or so feet up to reach the canopy. It takes you a little bit of fighting to push through. It's almost like a blanket up there at the top, trying to push through all the leaves and foliage. You pull yourself out, and it's kind of an interesting, almost beautiful sight. It's like a carpet of green leaves. And you can just see now the cradle as the sort of a long, just expanse of it leads across the body of the celestial cradle here. Hang on, I have one of those better pictures to show. Let's see here.
Nice.
You kind of get a good look at just the expanse of the area here. Just imagine that you're at the top of a forest. In the distance, because you've cleared the treetop here, you are able to see what looks to be the outcropping north. You can definitely tell now it will still take a few hours, but you do eventually see this canopy of green end. And in the far distance, you do see what looks to be some type of mountain-like region in the distance.
Nice. Okay. All right.
You do notice as you look that way that it looks mountainous. It has sort of this slate gray look in the distance to it. But there also seem to be weird pocks of what look like almost outcroppings of what looks to be debris of some type.
That's got to be our destination.
Well,
about how long does it look like it would take us to get there?
It looks like it would probably take another 8 to 10 hours.
Okay.
is that
Maybe. All right, I'll go back down and tell everyone.
Yeah, you kind of crawl back through the canopy and fly back down to your mount.
What'd you find? Anything? Are we in the going in the right direction?
Yes, we're going in the right direction. Probably another half day travel at our current pace, assuming we don't run into any more giant beehives.
Sun Kong, remembering your map, you pull it out and unfold it and see that because of the accurate nature of it, that this all plays out according to the map as well, from what Aesop has seen. You also now notice, looking at the map, that there is a couple areas circled on the map and a note that reads, "Beware of bees."
Oh. Any other hot tips on that map for us, by chance?
Seaware of seas.
We need to get fought to a doctor.
I think the jungle madness is setting in again.
And
There is
and D's.
up between where the drawn forestry ends and where the summit of this peak begins, Sun Kong, you see an X mark that reads Scro Settlement. You actually see a couple different X's, but not the size that is the one that is directly north of you. This one, the one north of you, seems to be the largest X that's at the summit of this scrap peak.
Well then. So, shall we press on? Maybe we rest before we get in the immediate vicinity of the settlement. Just rest up, you know?
Yeah, that would be smart.
Still have some traveling to do before that, though.
So we can we set a hut up in the trees?
A hut?
Yeah.
Well, technically yes. Tiny hut.
Oh, you can do that. You can make a tiny hut.
I can make a tiny hut if I'm given 11 minutes.
Well, that's not bad. I still think we could probably press on a little further. Otherwise, we're going to be tired by the time we get there.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Onward, then.
Can I? What was the rule with injuries and magical healing? Is it over 30 fixes it?
Let's take a look. And then we'll kind of wrap things up here. Let's look under rules, injury manual. Let's take a look here. I'm trying to just find healing. Okay, let's look at treating injuries. Under magical healing, you can choose that the healing stead either removes 1 injury level for each die of healing you would have received, or 1 injury level for each 10 points of healing you would have received. So if you can heal at least 10 points in a single round of healing, you'd be able to patch up Fa's injury in her leg. You now see her where she pulled out the sharp barb or thorn from one of those creatures where it almost like hit the bone, and you see her kind of holding a little bit at the side.
Alright, can I bonus action healing light?
Sure.
17 points of healing.
NVD slips off his mount and steps over, you staying on the mount, Fa, keeping your leg at about chest level to NVD. NVD, you kind of hold the side lightly, and with a glow of your palm, Fa, the feeling of the stinging begins to dissipate, and you watch as the cut and bruise begin to heal. Your injury is removed.
Nice.
There you go.
I like having a healer in the group.
Yes.
Yay, I'm helping.
Anything you can do about this neurodegenerative rabies?
Actually, yes, but I'd prefer to save it in case we really need it.
Yeah, yes. What is it again?
No, it's just I was just joking.
We're going.
It's been a running joke.
I want to pretend that's all in character, like NVD takes it at face value as her being serious.
As Fa says this, the Glymera snaps its head your way, NVD, and you see as it, shifting its butt over one side, takes a giant shit.
I can't fix that. That seems normal.
Fair's fair.
Well, let's press on.
Pressing on.
Alright, you guys press on. Heading north, you still have a good 8 to 10 hours travel to exit the forest. However, you are on your way. And with that, that is where we will wrap up this session.
Very nice. That was quite a combat with the giant beehive. I'm glad that like 1 million of them didn't come out. That'd be very happy.
Probably because the nest was on fire.
Yeah, none of the stingers hit you either. That was really good. That was just some bad rolls on my part, or good rolls on my part, depending on you guys being the players. So, and you guys had some very
Steam
good
Boy.
ideas. Yes, between the Steam Boys that just are like, I mean, in terms of action economy, just gives me the big fucking finger right to my face.
Yeah.
So, that definitely, it's not poor white boy, it's a poor hornet as a bunch of steamy white boys surround it.
Pink.
Pink boys, that's right. So yes, I hope all of you guys had fun.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate you stopping in. It's very nice of you guys to come hang out. Thank you, Genghis John, for
Genghis
following
John.
That's an
the
Genghis
channel.
Khan.
John. It's a great fucking name.
Also,
great.
be aware, just like Genghis John, those of you who are following or even subbing get a lot of cool loyalty points that you can use to spend to buy the party inspiration. You could buy things for yourself, like the little avatars down there at the bottom, and you can use the extension below our Twitch stream to check out all the details on how to control that and buy different stuff. So just keep that in mind. It's just a click of a button, and I really appreciate it. You guys will get those loyalty points. You can check out what kind of stuff you can buy by looking at the details down below as well. If you just click on the panel that shows you the things that you can buy, it'll actually take you to the actual page where you can take a look at that there. So I appreciate you guys hanging out. As usual, Looney, our VIP, I appreciate you hanging out with us. Thank you, Alfred Judokus 817. Thank you, Alfred. That's all I'm going to say. Electrical Longboard, Genghis John, Lurks, Polize, Tinkin, Ryu, T-Bird, VNK, Virgo, Praz, and Windsock certainly sounds like a bot, but thank you anyway for your robotic eyes hanging out with us on the stream. So,
Thanks, everyone.
yeah, keep that in mind. We'll probably have another poll soon to add another character to the avatar down at the bottom. If you missed any of this episode, or if you wanted to watch more, you can check out our VOD here on Twitch, or you can go over to our YouTube page. It's all GAWD_mode, and just watch any of that. We have a whole bunch of episodes. We've been streaming the entirety of Season 2, so that's now 63 episodes to watch. It's a monster load of content, so if you are a particularly unique masochist, you can go watch all that shit. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out. We will be back next week for more, where the group will press on and perhaps leave the forested area here, this jungly area, and begin on towards the Scro settlements. What they'll find there, I don't know, but we'll have to see. So I appreciate it. Until next week, goodbye, everybody.
Bye.